Oh, there we go.
Hey,
Hi.
how you doing?
I'm good. I was like, let me make sure you can hear me.
I know. I was like
Still
up
here.
trying to make sure that the sound was okay because this is actually my first time using
Oh,
StreamYard. So fingers crossed everything goes okay.
all right. It's gonna go fine. I'm trying to figure
Yeah,
out
yeah, yeah.
just okay.
You look beautiful.
Thank you.
You
You
look
do as well.
I'm so jealous of your dreads or whatever, your micro
My
dreads.
locks.
Yeah, I am like
Let's see.
on the fence of wanting to do that because I like to change my hair up so much. So yeah, my niece and I were talking about it when I was home last week. Anyway, first
Okay.
let's tell everybody what's going on here. This is the Sweet Spot with Deanda. I'm Deanda, and joining me today is Diamond Forbes.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello. Happy Sunday. I am, like I said, just over the moon that you decided to join me today. And we're just gonna chat like we usually do.
Yeah.
Um, so first, I want to know about hear about the meetup yesterday.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the meeting went well. So I just, as a matter of fact, before I got on, I don't know what I was checking on Messenger, and I feel so bad. One of the ladies who had arrived,
Mhm.
she had messenger. How you go? Anyway, messaged me, DM, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
to say she was there outside, and no one saw it because she only DM'd me on Facebook. Oh my gosh, I feel so bad. And I
Oh,
thought she had my
wow. So
phone
she didn't
number.
get in.
No. So I don't know if she will ever see it, but I
Yeah.
feel so bad. But other than that, it
Yeah.
went really well.
Okay.
Um, People are ready with their ideas and their plans, and it
Right.
sounds like we may do like another meetup just specifically to talk about um, the goals for who's trying to relocate, bop around,
Mhm. Mhm.
do the
How
thing.
they can how
Yeah.
you can kind of help and where the
hmm
resources and stuff.
It was a
Yeah,
good brainstorming moment. So it was really, really nice for us to kind of get together. So
yeah.
yeah, really good.
The Atlanta meetup, which was also
Yeah.
Saturday,
Yeah.
went well too. I mean, they had a
Mhm.
pretty decent showing,
They had a huge shower. Yeah.
considering that, she announced it maybe like a week in advance,
Mhm. Mhm.
but it doesn't take much. Long as I mean,
No.
always so much going on in places like Atlanta and Charlotte
Mhm.
and New York, whatever. So it's hard to juggle because I honestly have not um, been able to make any of the New York meetups
Hmm.
because it's always landed on a Saturday or a day that I am doing something or committed to do something else. So
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
haven't. Oh yeah, you know what? I need to take that back. I did a small one that was set up in Brooklyn because it was you know steps away from my apartment, so easy
Okay.
to do. But yeah, it's always so much stuff to do,
Mhm. Well, I
and
mean, wait a minute now. Don't forget about the meetups we've had
I know
in
this.
New York.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna get into that because see that I feel like that's a
I know
little
it's different, right? Like a more
different. Yes.
one-on-one meetups.
Because one of the things that I am so grateful to Exodus Summit, Stephanie and Rashida in particular, for doing is throwing it out there to establish your tribe. And I
Mhm.
feel like I have definitely done that. The women that I consider part of my tribe, you're among them. Um, I
I
feel like we've known each other forever, and it's just we sync up, you know. And I think I wouldn't have. I mean, I have a good, sister friend group, you know,
mhm.
but this is on another level. I think this is
Oh, sorry.
what I would call that thing of this is a new chapter in my life too, you
Okay.
know. So when I found Exodus Summit 5 years ago, because you know that was just like,
Um,
how do you even think about leaving the country? So I was like, let me just see what they're talking about. And again, just the way they pulled you in, I felt like I had known, Stephanie and Rashida, even though I had not met them.
Mhm.
And I feel like that's the same thing that happened with establishing our little tribe.
Yeah.
And I
I
have to say little because
we
we
do have
have
like a
kind of cut it down to a select few. I mean, and that doesn't mean that we don't, jump into other groups and
right.
pull them in, because Exodus Summit is huge.
Mhm.
Um, but among our little tribe, it's just cozy. It
Yeah.
just works, right? And I want to say this year has been full of just getting together, and we've been pretty steady with the weekly calls,
Mhm.
accountability calls. Which, when I tell people about our accountability calls, they're like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. What is that? First of all, what is that? I need that. I need that in my life. How do you do that? What is it that you do? And I'm like, well, really, we just kind of A to Z it on a call.
Mhm. Mhm.
We've, of course, cut it down to bi-weekly, but still, it pours into me.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it's a therapy session, because it's not, but it does help with my
It's
therapy.
therapeutic.
It's therapeutic because I'm able to, one, feel like I don't have to do it alone.
Mhm.
And like I say, we A to Z it. We talk about our, romantic life, our careers, or what we want to be our careers, our families.
Mhm.
Um, just all the things. Travel, of course, is
Yeah, it's just not one-sided.
it's
It's
not one-sided. It's
all dimension, I guess you can say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
what were some of the things that they talked about Saturday at the meetup?
Um, well, mainly everybody, had a chance to share what their plans are. Like, are you planning to relocate permanently? Are you doing a BOP? Are you going to
Okay.
be doing that slow travel kind of thing? And so
Yeah.
everybody had their,
Okay.
different perspectives on what they wanted. Some are thinking about relocating from Charlotte back to their
Mhm.
home.
Oh,
So that could be their home base. So they could, travel, be close to home
okay.
with their family.
Kind of
Um,
like what you did.
kind of sort of what I did.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, kind of sort of.
Yeah. Kind of, sort of.
Yeah. Um, some are really planning to just relocate. They have an idea where they want to go, just trying to figure that out. So a
Mhm.
few places that they did share. We have one I know was really interested in Portugal, Lisbon.
Oh,
She's already she already knows, and that's her plan. So she
yeah.
has the idea already set up of where she's going to go. So she's
Okay.
figured out her location.
Yeah.
Another lady, the whole survey, which I still have not shared with other friends, but this survey that we did for the Exodus Summit for this year, one of the ladies mentioned that she did it so many times and it kept on popping up Panama, Panama, Panama. Every now
Really?
and then it was Joburg. And so she was like, but
Okay.
for something, Panama doesn't resonate with her. So she was like, I don't know if I want to do Panama. I was like, really?
But has
So
she gone? Has
she
she gone?
no. And so we just gave her an idea of like, okay, well, why don't you try it out first
Right.
and
Right.
then kind of see, right? Because
Yeah.
maybe what your intuition is telling you is that Panama is not the place for you, right? But
Right.
until you step out and try, you
Right.
won't know, right? So,
Right.
well, just plan for another location that you feel
Yeah.
in this bop, right? And so that was some of the suggestions
Yeah.
we gave her and
Yeah.
how to do that. Um, who else? One
I
is thinking about relocate. Well, I don't know if she's going to relocate. I think she has a couple ideas that she's
Yeah.
trying to, but she is setting herself up financially so that she can be able to leave. So she's just
Okay.
started a business. I'm not going to share too much because she's not ready to put it out there. But
Mhm.
she has a wonderful idea. She's already started. She got her business page up. She got
Mhm.
everything in order. So this will give her that stream of income that she needs so that she can relocate.
Okay.
Whether it's going to be long term, she still has options.
Right. Right.
So we just kind of bounce some ideas about that and what that would look like for everybody and when they're going to start. And so
Yeah.
we like the beginning stages, which was like our, whole process meeting of now that we got these new nuggets from Exodus Summit this year, how we applying it to make our next step and what our plan looks like. And so
Right.
really good to kind of hear the different ideas and
Yeah.
feedback from the ladies.
And
Yeah.
I know people are so excited just coming off of this
Mm-hmm.
year's Exodus Summit. So you're like,
Still on that high,
yeah,
right?
yeah, you're on a high, because I know I am. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like I went back to look at my goals
Mm-hmm.
and, kind of how I'm going to apply that. We had, or they had a um, kind of anniversary celebration for the voiceover group that I'm in,
Okay.
that I got in last year.
Yeah.
And I wasn't able to attend, but just knowing that it's been a full year. It's
Yeah.
been a full year since that was,
Yeah.
the possibilities of doing that was introduced to me,
Mm,
only through,
that's
Exodus Summit. And so just looking at some of that stuff, trying not to Virgo it to death, and
get your Virgo on.
exactly. Try not to,
Sorry, my camera moving.
what have you done and what haven't you done, and all the things. So just looking at what I have done, because that I was looking on Instagram, and one of the things that popped up in my feed was, be thankful for the things that you have done,
Yes.
not concentrating on the things that you haven't. And that,
Exactly.
I think that came up before she put that in the chat that we were, celebrating. And I was like, you're right. You're right.
Mhm.
Because I mean, I've done way more, with voiceover than I was doing, 2 years ago, which was nothing. So I'm like, let me pat myself on the back for
Exactly.
the things that I have done. That I don't know if it was fear, but I didn't think of the possibilities of it,
Okay.
which is what I feel like Exodus Summit does for me, is
Mm-hmm.
provide possibility.
Possibilities, right? And
Possi-
I think everybody probably can say that collectively that the it's almost like most of us have had the desire to
Mhm.
do the things they're talking about, but never had the platform or the possibility,
Yeah.
the reality of the
Right.
possibility to be in front of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what Exodus Summit also has brought to however many people we have in our group now.
Now it's like
Because it's like,
thousands.
hey,
Yeah.
I've kind of been wanting to do that. And
Mhm.
even yesterday, Rashidat mentioned too, she's like, I've been doing this and traveling and relocate from here to there for a very long time. She
Yeah.
said, but what she said that she would have done differently, she knows she would have done things differently had she knew Exodus Summit,
Mhm.
had she been a part of Exodus Summit before, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And one of the biggest things that she said that brings her more peace is that the community that it brings.
Yes.
Before, when she was traveling and going these places and relocating, she
Yeah.
said she done lived a lot of places already,
Yeah.
and she said the community about
That's
what
I
it offers.
You know what, bar none, I feel like that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. When I say tribe, I mean community,
Mhm.
because, and it's also, I think combined with that is seeing people who look like me, doing it.
Yeah,
You know,
and that's where the reality comes from.
that's
Like
it.
like, even for me, like, I knew people lived uh, my grandfather did, right? It's like, it's not the first time
Yeah.
I've known
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
someone can live outside of the US. My
Mhm.
friend moved over to
Yeah.
Dubai for years, like, so it's not that I haven't seen
Right.
it just wasn't it didn't resonate that it was my possibility that my reality could be the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, wait, maybe that's what I really wanted to,"
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because now that I see, that's why it's so important that representation
Yes.
is available because when I that's when the light came on, like, oh
Mhm.
wait, y'all doing
Yeah.
what? Also, I can do it. It's
Right.
not untouchable. It's not something
Mhm.
that is so far fetched. And I think that's is a mindset, I think, and not just this, because we touched on this yesterday too during the meetup, is that generationally we have always put ourselves in we can't, we're not allowed to, we're not supposed to in so many areas because that's what they have put in us, right? And so it's important for us to have representation. Say, oh no, this stream
Yeah.
is not just for
Yeah.
certain people.
Yeah.
It's for
Yeah.
anyone. If you
For
just
anyone. I think it goes under also that saying of, or the feeling of, if you don't at least try, if you
Yes.
don't at least try, because okay, so my birthday month last month, I
Mm-hmm.
did a couple of things that I had never done before.
Mm-hmm.
Chief among them, on my birthday, going for the sunrise hike, which, I told everybody, when I was planning to do it, I didn't think about, or I didn't take in consideration the fact that a hike is a hike. It's like a real hike. And
Yeah.
that's exactly what we did. And I wasn't prepared for, oh my goodness, I'm going to be hiking, which I had never done before, not like seriously.
Yeah.
So this was like a serious, real talk, we're hiking.
Mm.
So, but it was also one of those, I'm so glad I did. I don't regret doing it.
Yeah.
Yes, it was hard getting up there, was work. It was,
Woo.
you know,
The thought of it, to me, I was like,
yeah, I know. Because when I put it out there, a lot of people were like, "No, but you have fun.
it
You do
sounds
this."
nice for you.
Yes. But all I could think about was, I want to do this, get to the top, and really reflect on what I want my next year to be. And I did that. I
Mm.
allowed myself to do that. And I feel like my mom was like, um, it seems like you were doing something every day of your birthday month. And I was like, I really wasn't. But the things that I did do were just so, I couldn't, if I had planned, if I had said, okay, I want to do the hike, I want to go to the Tamron Hall show, I want to, I want to, go to for drinks, I want to have, a great book club, meeting. All of that, had I like set out to plan all that, I don't think it would have come out as planned.
Right.
However, I do contribute some of that to Exodus Summit. It's just like
Mm-hmm.
tapping into what's the worst thing can happen if you go for a hike? What's the, you know what I mean? Like,
Well,
well, I mean, yes, there's that. But
but no.
when I think about like the Deanda of it, because I wouldn't do
Yeah.
anything that would, jeopardize my health, or, the other thing. So yeah, when I thought about it, I was like, yeah, girl, you got to do this.
Do
And
it.
then,
I'm so
once I
happy for you.
paid for it, I was like, okay, we're doing it. We're doing
Yeah.
it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right, because now that you kind of brought up your birthday things and being able to do things that you wouldn't thought of before,
Mhm.
and how Exodus Summit kind of, yeah, we give them credit for that.
I do.
And I had to think about when you said, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, because
Yeah.
I have never been anywhere by myself on my birthday, let alone
Because you did that too.
in South Africa, right?
Yes.
And so,
Yes.
but it was because of the fuel that I got from
Yes.
Exodus Summit, from you all, my accountability group,
Yeah.
from the all the other ones who were doing it, and me watching it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
shouting them on, or when you shout, or cheering
Yeah.
them on, or whatever.
Right.
It
Right.
was like, oh, you can do that. You should try.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
thanks. And I did it.
Right.
Um, I have never thought I would do that before. It has
Right.
never been something that came to me, that,
Right.
oh, I'm going to be in another country for my birthday by myself,
Right.
and I'm just going to
Now,
be
wait a
there.
minute. That was your first time traveling by yourself too, right?
Yes.
Because you've always you've traveled, but you've never traveled solo.
No.
Okay.
The most solo I travel is traveling by myself to get somewhere, to meet up with people.
But
But
in
to
the US,
travel by
that's in the
myself,
US.
and that
Yeah,
was in the
yeah.
US,
I mean,
absolutely,
well, yeah, but because
but
you mean
not
like
solo,
taking,
solo.
yes, solo. I'm
Yes.
here alone.
Mhm.
There's nobody. Yeah.
Yeah, and it
I
was
love it.
like, and so one of the, actually yesterday that we brought that up too, because Damaris, I don't know if she's listening, she's actually about to go for her birthday to San Miguel. And she's
Oh,
kind of like, I'm kind of nervous. We was like,
yeah.
why? So she was like, because I've traveled before
Yeah.
solo doing other things, but I met people. But this time I'm just there and I have no plan and who I'm going.
Right.
It's like,
Right.
what we
Yeah.
did was we said, listen, put it on the page. You're gonna get some people already
You
planning
won't
to
even.
help you out. And she was like, I don't know how to. I said, so we all stopped, was like, let's do it right now. We have
Yeah,
helped her put her post up,
yep,
tag us in. And
yep,
already I checked today. Was it today? Yeah, early today. And I seen people already comment about who's gonna be
yeah,
there, gonna be this. And I'm
yeah,
like, see, but she was nervous. She said, I'm kind of like, it's like a week away. And I'm like,
yeah,
oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm doing
yeah,
this, but I've done it
yeah,
before, but I haven't done it. So we was like, and I
yeah,
said, to be honest, I was so excited about going,
yeah,
but I also had them butterflies too. Like, I'm
right.
really about to be over here by
I will
myself.
be by myself. Yeah,
I'm celebrating my birthday. And I said, I'm gonna be celebrating my birthday by myself. And I don't mean no
yeah,
bad.
yeah.
But I didn't have to. And I said, you never know what's gonna turn up. I didn't celebrate my birthday by myself. I met
Mhm.
with Susan, one of our ExodUS sisters, who
That's
was
right. Yes.
and
Yeah,
we had lunch. And that day I
yeah,
met someone else. I had dinner.
yeah,
Like I'm like, I
yeah.
wasn't by myself,
Right,
right? But
right.
doing the thing is how I figured it out. If I wouldn't have never
Yeah.
tried it or did, I'd
You
have
would have never known.
never
You
known.
would have
And
never
now I'm like
known.
ready to do it again. I'm trying to make this an
Yeah,
annual thing for my birthday. Wake up
I
somewhere else.
know. I
So
know. I
you
love
know,
it. I love it. I love
it's
it.
just beautiful.
I experienced that in Mexico as well. A solo trip for my birthday in Mexico, and this was before I met you.
Mhm.
And I don't think I was afraid, but I was like, do you really want to do this for your birthday? I think, and that's what I think you're saying too. Is like, what is your birthday?
Yes.
Um,
Not just a solo trip. It's a solo
so
trip on
much,
your
I
birthday. And you
know,
celebrate with
but
your
I
loved ones.
had so
And
much fun. Yes, I had
I
so
had an
much
amazing
fun.
time. It
I
was
had
amazing.
such a ball, and it is what you make it. Like life is. That's
Mhm.
it. Bottom line, it is what you make it. And I think what Exodus Summit has done for me is just allowed me to kind of add that to my toolbox,
Yes.
add it to my toolbox.
Right.
And, sometimes, I get around here lifing as we
It
do,
be life.
you know,
And
I forget to open up the toolbox. But when it comes to like, I'm so excited about our plans for
mhm.
2025.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
we can get
Yeah.
into it, but
We'll get into it. Yeah.
again, it's just the
Mhm.
possibilities,
Possibilities.
the possibilities that
Mhm.
it's going to, just this fire. I
Yeah.
just feel so fired up
And
about.
every year, the summit brings us something different
Yes. Oh my God. We gotta
that
talk.
we knew,
Yeah.
but it's a different perspective, right? And so, but each one is like, oh man, you like,
So,
I'll be
because
saying,
remember, I was like, you know what? I don't know. I feel like I
yes, it's like,
told them everything. What else could they possibly tell
right,
me?
we're alumni. We're gonna be here
Oh,
4 or 5 years.
yes. Like,
Like, we know
maybe
now.
I could put on my own summit. Like, I'm good. But I
No,
am going to tell you, I don't feel like there was out of that 4 days, let's call it 3.5 days.
yeah,
Because Friday was really like
like a yeah,
3.5 days. There was not one thing that I was like, no need to, tune into this or, that kind of thing. It was all, I mean, I was looking at my notes the other day and I
mhm,
actually put in my calendar, okay, you need to go back and look at the replay of this because you need to go. I mean,
mm,
and I can't
and
really think about what was my favorite because they were all so good.
well,
I got a few favorites like, Adelia's, quick
she's
and
amazing.
dirty. And my thing with her, because I was like, you know what? I can go back and look at the replay of Delia because what is she going to tell me that I can't just go to her YouTube channel? You
Mhm.
know, I've already seen most of them. So what can she, but she did. She turned around and gave
You
me,
did. I'm like, I've never heard that
I
before.
know,
That's why I have I will say it, my most notes because I was like,
yeah,
and
right.
I'm like, I'm gonna be watching that again. And I
Yeah,
also am like, maybe I just need to, we have to invest in ourselves and just do
yeah,
like a one-on-one a call with her just to
yeah,
about what I
yeah,
really want to accomplish for my
right.
move
Yeah. Because
move
it's like the talk it out. It's the talk it
yes,
out.
the
Like when
talk
we
it out.
had our that time we had our kind of finance call on one of
Mhm,
our accountability calls, even that was kind of like, okay,
mhm,
yeah, because I heard about that or And now
Mhm.
that I'm doing some of those things, like the venture card and that kind of stuff, it's just, again, I would not be doing this stuff if not for Exodus Summit.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I would not be there. And I mean, yeah, the
We don't realize how resourceful we are. Like we all have just something to bring to the table, right? And when we start talking, we're like, oh wait, oh but then can we talk? Because I need you like, oh wait. And so we have to stop minimizing what we have as well. Like we learn so much from each other. And
yeah,
that's another big thing about being a part of the
yeah,
community
yeah,
is that we learn so much from each other.
right.
And that goal, if that was part of the goal that Stephanie and Rashida set out, they have accomplished that over and over.
You know what? Because you know what? I wouldn't mind, kind of sitting down, not on camera or anything, and just asking them, like, I know you came up with this thing and you wanted to share what you were doing,
Mhm.
but was this really your goal? Like, did you really think that you were going to basically have hundreds of Black women traveling the world,
Thousands.
leaving the US in
Mhm.
some cases, in a lot of cases, you
Yeah.
know,
And I
and
think you might have said, it was the idea to make sure other women, other Black women
yeah,
were aware of what they knew. It's
yeah,
like, no
yeah,
gatekeeping here. Let them know
right,
the possibilities. So in a
yeah,
sense, I think yes, that was their goal, right?
right,
But on a bigger picture, like, okay, do you realize how many people's gonna be able to come and bring their skills and their gifts and their this and their
yeah,
that,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
it's gonna turn into this whole, and then them as well. How much, and they're learning things because I remember she was like, I'm taking notes, except
I
I'm
know,
taking notes, right?
yeah,
So it's
yeah,
not that they have it all and they know it all, is that
yeah,
we're learning from each other, even though yes, we're the ones who brought this idea to you all.
right,
I'm learning from y'all as well. And I need some of this stuff as well because there should never be a list that's ended, like a goal list. We should never have met all our goals. It should always
right.
be adding to,
It's
adding
always,
to,
it's never ending, and it's always
unlimited.
something else that you
Mhm.
can add to it.
To it.
Hence the reason why I was like, you know what, I'm good. I don't need to go, whatever. And well, thankfully we were all together when we all signed
Yes.
up. We were in the Poconos,
I'll meet up.
our meetup,
Let me
and
try because Rashida
it
listen
was,
because she get.
I know, I know, yeah, but I think that was the universe saying, okay, wait a minute, sis, let me just make sure that
Mhm.
you know what you know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
let me put you where you need to be, right? Because
Yes.
I honestly feel like had I been just here, home or whatever, and it came up that the tickets went on sale or whatever, I probably would have hemmed and hawed and no, 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 you know.
I'd have
But
been texting like, girl, the tickets on sale.
right, we were all there. It's like, okay,
Mhm.
let's do it. Let's do it. Let's
Mhm.
go ahead and do
Yeah,
this.
I didn't have a hesitation about attending.
Mhm.
I knew I was going to attend. Um, of course, this time I only did the weekend pass, and
Yeah,
all the others I did the full access
right.
um, for
Same.
several reasons. But
Yeah.
I think even with the full act, even with the weekend pass, you got so much,
You got so much.
so
You
much,
got
and
so much.
it was just
And
it was enough for me.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I'm not saying that I'm overloaded with the information because I don't feel like that, but
Mhm.
I still stand by the weekend pass was perfect for me for this year.
For this year.
And I told myself, because remember we talked, I think the first day, that Saturday, wasn't it? It doesn't matter.
It's one of
When
those
we
days.
talked, and I was like, you know
Mhm.
what? I think next year I'm gonna, just buy a ticket for somebody that I want to be
Mhm.
there, because I did that one year for my sister, and I'm good.
Yeah.
But I can't say that. You know what? I need to take that off the table. I'm good. I need to wait and see
Yeah.
what I'm gonna be talking about, because
Exactly. Because I needed to be right there.
right. And here's the thing, the thing that's really interesting is because I kept saying, well, I know I don't want to move. I'm not
Mhm.
ready to move. I'm not saying I don't want to. I'm not ready to make a commitment to say that I'm leaving the US.
Mhm.
So that's my thing. but what they show you is how you can do it in a systematic way for you.
Yes.
Like
Because
you can
everybody's is going to be different. Mine
exactly
will look different from
everybody's
yours.
think because look at Rashida and Stephanie, it's totally different the way they
Yeah.
do it.
Yes.
Complete, they're in two different places. And the what they're after, what their goals are not identical,
Mm-mm.
but it works.
Yeah.
It works. And when I talk to you, when I talk to um Candace, when I talk to Francis, you know, all of our stuff is
It's
different,
different. Mm-hmm.
but the same.
But the same, right? We're on the same, like-minded. Like I said, it's so important to have that
Yeah,
because that's
yeah,
where the motivation comes from.
yeah,
The encouragement comes from when
yeah.
you have people that know what it is, even though it's not identical, like you said, but
Mhm.
I know that, okay, this is what you want to do. Let's figure out how we can help you get it. And this is, we can talk it out. We can support each other through it.
Yeah,
But when you're talking to someone else who is completely, who doesn't know, doesn't get what we do at Exodus Summit, what it's about, it's hard to translate that. It's hard
yeah,
to kind of translate, oh, I want to, move abroad. Or they're like, why? Or I
yeah,
want to bop around, but why? Like they don't get it. And so when we
yeah,
have the conversation amongst us who get it,
yeah,
it makes it so much easier.
yeah,
Right. It encouraged you to be able to like, okay, let's continue on. Let's figure out what else we need to do. How else can we, meet this goal or the desire that we have just to see what it is. And
yeah.
so many of us do, like you say, you don't want to live outside of the US, but you want to travel.
Yes.
If you only want to travel, you can come be a part of the group, right?
Right.
Because you're going to get you some
Right.
travel tips, some
Yeah.
community. You're going to learn some things about yourself that you haven't learned before. Like there's still so much in it.
Yeah.
You don't want to live outside of the US.
Right.
Yeah.
And because chief among them, like the session that Anita led, the what was it called? How to date a country
Yes.
before you marry it.
I never thought about that before.
Yes. And I'm like, I don't need to do that. I'm good. I'm good.
I'm open.
Because I'm not thinking about moving. So I don't really need to date a country to know, anything. But I'm like, if I want to, in the future, dating and the stuff that she gave us in terms of how to date a country, yeah, I need to know that. I
Mm-hmm.
absolutely
Absolutely.
100% need to know that.
Yeah.
And so I just appreciate that. I appreciate those, tools because it was a lot of it was information that I didn't know I needed to know, like the language that, oh my God, that one.
And I've been wanting to learn. Listen, I've been wanting to learn another language, but I'm like, I don't. But I do. Like I want to be able to communicate with others when I'm not gonna be able to learn all the
And
language. A little bit
the
basic
little
stuff
stuff, basic stuff that she gave
was enough.
was so like, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
I can at least learn how to say, thank you and a certain words or whatever before I leave and go. That's
Mhm.
respectful. That's respectful.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I love watching foreign films. So
Me
done.
too.
I can do that.
Mhm. Mhm.
Done and done. Right.
Yeah.
So it was just like the little things. These are not even big, heavy reaching. You don't gotta,
No, they're so realistic. And
yes.
even if you don't, you want to learn the language just because you need it for your everyday life.
Yeah.
This week was a challenge for me. Like if I had more Spanish under my belt, the training that I had to train this week would have been a lot easier for me to
Right. Oh my
communicate with
God.
her because of her language barrier, right? I may
Yeah.
not have been able to have the whole
Yeah.
training,
Yeah.
have, I
Yeah.
want, but at least I could have communicated with her
Mhm, mhm.
more and it
Yeah,
was an effective training because I knew a little bit more Spanish, right?
yeah.
And
Or at
that's just
least been able to understand and convey to her, hey, it's okay. Because can you imagine what she might be feeling because
yeah.
she's the only one who doesn't speak the language.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just it makes you comfortable, it makes the other person comfortable. And I know that when I went to Mexico, I did know how to say thank you
Yeah,
and
the basics of
my name, whatever.
greetings
Yeah.
and
But I do feel like if I'm gonna be there for more than a couple of days, yeah, I need to.
I need to know something, right?
Let's stop playing. Yeah.
Don't force down the, oh, I speak English,
Right.
you speak English.
Exactly. And you
I'm
know what? That's the arrogance of being from the US, because
others. I
yeah.
want to learn it. I find it fascinating to hear the languages, and I want to always like, okay, how do I
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
teach me? Like I want to know.
Right, right, right.
For me, I think it's a wonderful thing to be able to learn. Some of and others don't feel that way, right?
Yeah.
Um, I would like to be able to figure out if I'm going to pick that up and do it though, because now that I'm like, ugh. I mean, Spanish in school was like, I don't want to do it, but I feel like, dang, damn, you should have been
Yeah.
paying attention. As many people that have been around me that speak the language, I should have
Yeah.
picked up more, but I didn't. Now I want to.
Yeah.
But I also think I want to do French. So I'm like, can I do?
Well, so that's what I did study in high school and college, both of those.
Okay.
And yeah, nothing. I don't remember. I don't recall hardly.
It's gonna be wee wee.
And I am like in love with Italian culture. So I even have a thing that I bought on how to learn Italian. The seal is not even broken. And I think
It's one step. It's a thought. You took a step to get it.
I did buy it, right? I did buy it. But it's I think it's an intimidation factor too. It's like,
Yeah, that fear, like you said,
you're a grown ass woman,
fear.
yes. And I'm like, no, because you can learn anything you want to, Deanna. You really can.
Yes, we can.
Yes,
we can.
So yeah, I mean, that was one of my favorite sessions too. Like I said, it's hard to pick out. This was,
yeah, I had so many good nuggets and
such
the
good
conversations, and now I'm looking at the date. We only got she extended it for how long now?
I know, until the 8th. Yeah,
that's around the corner.
I looked at Adelia's replay, which I still feel like I need to go back and
I'm gonna have to do that
before it expires, because I don't want to be like,
yes,
please just give me one more day.
And we know we can't do that. So
yes,
we
won't do that. We won't do that. Because the luxury of working from home, I do have that, and so I can have it playing, while I am in here, doing that. And that's another thing that prior to joining the Exodus Summit community, working remote was a thing, but not really. And of course, COVID really kind of took over the thing. And I think watching how you did yours was also inspirational. And just my burnout from the job before I got this job was, like, you got to do something else. Now, the interesting thing about it is I'm a people person. So I have to do things that will invite people into my space. But I have to be very tactical about that since I work remotely. I have days where I don't have any meetings. So those are the days when I'm like, okay, I'll go to a co-working space, or I'll go to the library and work, or I'll go to a cafe or something, just to be around people. Because I crave it. I get, and I'm like, but I do get in my routines where, working remote, when you don't have to, because if I'm gonna be on a camera, if I'm gonna be in a meeting, I'm fully dressed, face is made up, all the things. I know a lot of people don't do that, but that's a Deanna thing.
Right.
And the company that I work for is not really a stickler for, you got to be on camera for every meeting, that kind of thing. So that's not a big, thing either. But when you have at least 2 days out of the week that you don't really have meetings, so you don't have the obligation, I have to do something to, bring that
So
in.
that's what motivates you to get out. So
Yeah.
I know when we stopped at that co-working shared space in the city,
Yeah.
which was really cool.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? Let me find some of those things here in Charlotte. So it
Mhm.
was great that our meetup yesterday was at a location that is a shared workspace.
And you
And
said that was like 9 minutes or whatever from your
like
house?
15 minutes,
Yeah.
like not far.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Yeah.
I love it. And they have more than one location. And so not that I'd be craving to be around people like that when I'm working.
Yeah.
I can, but I feel like maybe getting out more and doing that should be
Mhm.
something I add
Right.
to my list when I'm in the States.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah.
I'm a little opposite because I love my remote working from home and I have to
Yeah.
leave the house and so I feel like going outside,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And,
Yeah.
some days, and it's not always good. Some days I don't leave the house
Yeah.
for 3, 4 days in a row because I'm like,
Yeah.
I've done my work. I can get my work
Right.
done, do the stuff I
Yeah.
need to do around for my personally.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I have other people that's here in the house, so I can talk to
Right.
them if I feel like it, get on the phone.
Right.
We
Right.
can Zoom. So for me, I like it, but the
Mhm.
flip side is that I also, before I was remote, I had to be in the field a lot. You know,
Right.
so working in child welfare, there was home visits and traveling and this and that,
Right.
and around
Okay.
the office. And so I needed, for me, I was like, a break that you gave me, Lord, thank you. Like,
Right. Yeah.
and then I realized
Yeah.
this is what I want to do. I don't want to have
Mhm.
to go into an office again.
Right.
So you're
Right.
right. When I hosted my burnout from my previous employer was like,
Yeah.
I love the work
Yeah.
and I'm enjoying always being able to still be in a field where I'm passionate about.
Mhm.
But I have grown to be a different person that I don't feel like I want a position that I have to be in front of people day
Mhm.
in and day out, be in
Yeah.
a field. I
Yeah.
don't want to do that part anymore.
Mhm. Mhm.
And
I love
anything that's going to look like that, feel like that,
Yeah.
I'm not going to thrive in that environment.
Right.
And I
Right.
don't want to work in an environment where it's toxic for me because I don't like
Yeah.
I don't feel comfortable in my
Yeah.
comfort.
Yeah.
I'm dreading going and I don't
Right.
want that for my life.
Yes.
I don't have to do with that. I don't have to deal with that.
Mhm.
I've gotten to a point where in my life that I know that I have options.
Yeah.
But I know I was in there for a while, and Exit Summit definitely gave me a push to say, Diamond, just go, just do what you got to do,
Yeah.
figure it out.
Yeah.
Like you all helped me like navigate through that
Yeah.
process. And if I did not have the Exit Summit platform, I probably would have stayed dealing with the foolishness.
Right.
I felt like I had
Because you're
my
conditioned to, hey, I gotta work, so this is what I'm gonna
deal
do,
with it,
right?
right?
But
To a certain extent, though.
no, this is what Stephanie has said. I heard her say, like, it doesn't have to look like this just because this is what you're used to.
Right.
It
Now, one of
doesn't.
the things I've always had in me is that when I got in a position and I started feeling like, okay, I've had enough, I've gotten everything I needed to get out of this position.
Mhm.
Um, it no longer serves me. I always look for another role that I
Okay.
can pivot to. I
Okay.
never liked staying in, even before Exit Summit came along, and I started to think about that. I'm like, gosh, I thought about, and I don't know who I was talking. I'm like, wow, you know what?
Mhm.
Anytime I got to the point, I'm like, all right, this is I've been here enough. I've given all I can give.
Yeah.
Gave all it can give.
Yeah.
Where else can I move and pivot? Because the child welfare world is so huge. Where
Yeah.
else can I pivot to do something else?
Right.
I don't want to be in a position where I'm just like day to day. It's just like this cycle of I don't know. I need more out of things. And I think once
Right.
you reach your max of what can happen in an environment, it's time to move on to something else. And so
Yeah.
I've always had that in me. And I've been blessed to been able to go in different positions. I think I've been almost every department in child welfare that I could, and I still have more. And so I'm thankful that I was always had that. But now this has given me, oh, you can also just work from home. Because before I'm
Yeah.
like, can you really work from home
Yeah.
with child welfare? Yeah, you can. Yeah,
Yeah.
social work. Yeah, yeah, you can.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I kind of always had that piece that you don't have to
Mhm.
stay in those positions, you don't have to stay in those toxic situations just
Yeah.
because, but never had the tools on. Um, well, no, I guess I did have it. I just
Yeah.
now remote is all I want to do.
Right.
Right?
Right.
I only want to do remote work.
Well, I know for my ease and rest, that's the only way that I'll be able to work for
Hmm.
someone else, you
Yeah.
know. Um, and you mean, yes, work is work, again, like I said, life and is be life. You still have a manager and, obligations and that kind of stuff. But I feel like I'm able to tap
Breathe.
into breathe. You know what? I'm gonna just say that. Breathe.
That's enough for me.
Breathe.
And
Just
Octavia gave us all
know
those breathing tech. Every time, listen, when I hear her name, I just think about
it, absolutely. And
fine.
it's tapping into the toolbox. It's tapping
Yeah.
into the toolbox. And I even feel like, so I even have my therapy and mindfulness group during the workday. And I feel like, because at first I was like, well, maybe I should have it like on a weekend or, at the end of the day. No. No, I need it, when it's happening. And it's
Mm.
not every day
Balance.
or whatever,
Balance, right?
but
Mm-hmm.
it helps me to kind of break away from, okay, because I don't want work to ever again become this, that's all I do. That's
Yeah.
all you know me as. That's the only thing that you can, kind of take from what I contribute, is this job, this role,
Yeah.
because I'm more than that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm more
Absolutely.
than that. I'm more than a marketing manager. And
We already know.
stop it
We
already.
already know our leaders, Exodus, some would be like, what? F them
Yes,
jobs.
right. And
But
no is a complete
sure.
sentence. Yeah.
If it's going to bring you toxic toxicity day to day to do
Yeah.
the job for somebody else, someone else's gain, then yes, F that
Yeah.
job, right? Because
Yeah.
we have to start taking back that we are most important. If I'm not whole and I'm not able to, get up and breathe and move and function and mentally be ready to face on the world, whatever that role is for you, I'm no good. And so if it's taking so much from me, then guess what? I need to cut it. And I think more
Yeah.
people need to realize that we have been it's just been a cycle of a generational, oh, we just have to work. We have to
Yeah.
work. We got to do
Yes,
this.
yes, yes, yes,
I don't
yes.
have to work. I need to make money.
Yeah.
I need to make money
But
to
I
live
don't have to do it where it's killing
like
me.
that.
I don't
Yeah.
have to do it where it's killing me.
Yeah. And that's where I'm like,
Yeah.
do I want to work for listen, if I could retire yesterday, I would have, and still trying to do that.
Same.
But
Same. Same.
um and so yes, working. And the other thing that this channel has not channel, the group has brought is that
Mhm.
there are other ways to bring in income. You don't just have to work for somebody.
Yeah.
Now we knew that too. We know people who are entrepreneurs and do it. We
Yeah.
know other things. But
Yeah.
have we tried to do it ourselves? No.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
just
just
like what we were talking about at the top of the call or whatever, it is the voiceover thing. Again, something I never would have thought about it, but never thought that it was a possibility.
mm-hmm.
Right. And so when it was introduced, it was like, oh, Cassandra is like doing that. And she looked like me.
Yeah.
Right. She
Yeah.
doing that. And she's like, it's not hard. It's not like it's hard. It's not like she said it, but it was like, that's
Right.
what she
Like
said,
you can do it
right?
too.
It's like,
Right.
you can do it too.
Simple.
You can do this. You have to want it, but you can do this, and I think overarching that has been kind of the messaging behind Exodus Summit, and the finding your accountability partners. I mean, I think I am so thankful to Candace
Ooh.
also, but I am so thankful to her how she not even doing it for doing its sake was just like, hey, y'all need to lead this. And
yeah, we owe her.
like,
I shared our story yesterday. I'm like, how me and Deanna met is because of Candace.
yeah,
It wasn't because it was because of Exodus Summit, but
yeah.
Candace bridged
But
the gap.
Candace, she
Bridged
ushered
the
that
gap.
in. She ushered that in. She was the catalyst for that.
She was.
And without her even knowing that she was doing something so phenomenal, and then it wasn't the following year, but the year after we the year we did, we went to Morocco, and she and I and Casey and Odessa were in the Poconos, and I was like, you need to be on our call. She was just talking about stuff, and I was like, you need to come on over here.
Bring us some of those.
I was like, what call? What are you talking about? I was like, well, Diamond and I are on, we meet weekly, our accountability call. We're accountability partners, and we're getting some stuff done.
Yeah.
We're getting
it's not boxed in. And so, but we learned that from Exodus Summit. When they started those accountability groups, which is what Candace brought us together, and great idea, absolutely great. But that also brought another idea, like we don't have to just be boxed in that we're just talking about voiceovers, talking about going to Ghana, talking about business. It can be an accountability for life. There's unlimited.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. And so that's the other thing I think there's so many other groups. I'm gonna be a part of them. I'm gonna probably chat, jump in here and there.
I got
because we developed something else, right? And I think that's the other piece. It's not just, we're just talking about lifing. We've developed a relationship and a friendship and a sisterhood that allows us to be comfortable to communicate and talk about the things that are outside of that, right? And so the difference between our accountability group and the others is that we're not just here for one thing. We're not here for this one thing. We're going to talk about this business meeting. We're going to talk about the trip and going about our business. No, we are really doing the life together and trying to figure
out. We A to Z it.
Real accountability.
We A to Z it. And I mean, the times that we're able to be face to face with each other are so special because of that.
Yes.
So special because of that. And I, just kind of reflecting on this summer, because I feel like we just did so much this summer. But just kind of, one, we're all adults. We're all, grown as women, and how we're like, okay, well, I need to make sure that I'm doing this, and I need to make sure that I'm doing that. And then when I bring it to y'all, it's like, but wait a minute, sis. You're doing what you're doing now is too much.
Yes.
That's what you're doing. But I need that.
We all do.
And sometimes
I don't know. From a place of, we know it's coming from a place of love, and that
so much
be the best for you.
So much. And because I know when Candace, when we were in the Poconos and Candace said, I think what you need to do is concentrate on this.
Right.
One thing.
And she broke it down. And I was like,
she broke,
that's true. You do.
I was like, because the Virgo in me wants to do it all. Yeah. She wants to do it all. But the problem with that, not only does she want to do it all, but she wants it all to be perfect. Which is, stop it already. Yeah. You're doing too much when you trying to be, perfect, because then I end up, and because I said this, I was like, I end up on the sofa like I can't do anything,
just froze.
And so I know when I come to y'all with whatever, y'all gonna give it to me straight. You're gonna give it to me, straight and without, holding back, saying, well, let's just see if she falls, we'll be there to pick her up. But it is this, no, sis, that's not going to be good for you. Or that's going to be great. And here's how I can help support you in doing
right. And that was the idea when I brought it to him, like, why don't we just start meeting so that, I said, for me, it's not just about, I want to go to Ghana. And if we don't get to Ghana, we going next year.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just about Ghana, but I'm like, sometimes you just need someone to push you, remind you, motivate you, encourage you, put you in your right place, right? And we have all these things that we want to do. All of us have tons of ideas and dreams and everything, but we just don't know how to execute them. And you may be able to help me do X, Y, Z, and I can do X, Y, and Z, right? Let's share that. Let's figure out how we can pivot from each other, right? And so, and I knew for me, I said, I need more than just meeting about Ghana. In order for me to get to Ghana, I got to do this, that, and the third. And sometimes I need someone else to talk it out. And we have our friends and family members that we know we sit and talk to, and we just chat it up. And but we're not actually doing the work. And what we do is the work.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you have always been held accountable. But listen, you're gonna have the notes ready. You said on that meeting the goal was X, Y, Z. You first thing I said was, goodness, we talked about it, but I didn't know she was
I
gonna
know.
have all my notes and what I need to do. I got homework. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, but
Yeah.
that's what I thought I needed,
Right.
right?
Right.
Then when I saw that, which I already knew that was about you because that's how you did Ghana, so I knew that was gonna come. But
Right.
because it was in front of me, it was in black and white. It was a
Yeah.
reminder to say we didn't just have a conversation. We
Mhm.
touched on this, that, and what do you need me to help you with? Because this is what I can help you with.
Right.
Or I can't help you with this, but baby, you can ask such and such. Or I can, and so that's how
Yeah.
it kind of started because I'm like, I needed that.
Yeah.
And for me, it was just like, yep, I'm happy. This is good.
Yeah.
We're gonna be able to make some things. We're gonna accomplish some things. We're gonna conquer the
Yeah.
world because now we have each other to support us through
Right.
it.
Yeah.
And now it has expanded, right?
I know.
And
Yeah.
and our groups don't have to be. Don't don't get me wrong. It's not wrong with the 500 people in the group.
No, no, no.
I
Yeah.
cannot thrive in those, right?
I
need
don't either.
personal, like I need people to be able to. It needs to be a more intimate
Yeah.
setting for me to even
Yeah.
want to do the work because I don't want to get overwhelmed in an accountability group. That's
I do. Yeah. And
right?
because I am the type of person, if I do know the answer, I'm gonna do so. I'm gonna tell you. Oh,
Mhm.
sis, I can help you with this, da da da. And then I told you, it's like
You've
if I'm
done it.
doing that, then I'm not pouring back into me, you
Absolutely.
know. And so on our call, which is, a good number, good little
Mhm.
number,
Mhm.
where I can, if I know that, you need this, I know, okay, I need to call her or text her and make sure that, hey, because I got this. I know how to, help her with that. And same, vice versa. Like yesterday, I called you and Candace on two different things,
Mhm.
two separate things, but that's how we pour into each
Yeah.
other.
Right. And that's good though, because, and that's the other thing about having an intimate
Mhm.
accountability group is that, yes, we may meet weekly or bi-weekly now that we're shifting things sometime, but that doesn't limit us from not touching base with each other throughout the week
Yeah.
because we don't have to wait for the week, right? But I could not, I can't see how the larger groups can do that because it'll be too much, right? And so if I need something from you and Candace needs something from you, you can say, listen, I'm able to do X, Y, Z for you this week, or I
Yeah.
can do this for that week. Like
Yeah.
it's small enough for us to kind of
Yeah.
manage those requests
Manage. Yeah.
and support each other because, and then we know we respect each other's times
Yeah.
and time and space. And that for me, I think is also really important is that we know what each other is doing.
Yeah.
Life in together. So we know what's on the table.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to burden you, and you're
Right.
not going to allow me to burden you with
Yeah.
something I need for me, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna be like, look, well, did you do this? And did you do
Yeah.
that? Once you do that, let me know and I can tell you if I'm available.
Yeah.
It's accountability at the end of the day, but it's also putting me back to like, you gotta do the work. Sis, you gotta do
Yeah.
the work.
Right.
I'm here for you.
Yeah.
And that's what I appreciate. And I'll say this, I appreciate all the efforts. Like you are always like, what can I do for you to what can I help you with? I love you like, this is what I can do. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
I
And we're
mean,
like, okay, cool, all right.
you know what? That's a practice that I've just started. It's like, because okay, well, let me just take the whole thing, which doesn't serve you or me. Because
Nope.
my thing is just like when you get on a plane and they tell you to put the oxygen mask on yourself
Mhm.
first. Like, if I don't put it on first and knowing that I got this, then I am no good to you.
No. And
Even
vice
if I
versa.
don't say that I can help you with it. But if I'm just able to listen, because sometimes, life gives life and I can't even hear your problems, girl, because mine are all over,
Right.
So that's a practice that I have gotten into. Again, no is a complete sentence.
Mhm.
And it's what my therapist has said to me is, so how often do you say that to yourself?
Mm. Okay.
Which when she said it, I was like, okay, drop the mic. Okay, just drop it. Because I don't say it enough.
Yeah.
Because I have these to-do lists that are endless, which is why I started the exercise of I only put 6 things on there at a time,
Mhm.
so I don't get overwhelmed because I'm getting so overwhelmed. And
Yeah.
again, I got that tip from a sister from Exodus Summit,
Yeah.
and it's
So
just,
much. When you said that, because I have learned to take back my time, and not always be available and not always offer everything in me to somebody else when I know
yeah.
I got work over here. And I got that from you all. And
Mhm.
also when I started therapy, right? And I was having therapy, I'm like, I'm gonna go ahead and get therapy. What year was that? 2022. It was 2022 when we had some of the guests, they was talking about generational traumas and therapy. That was when Black Girls Therapy, I can you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, that was last year.
That was
That was
last year.
2023. Yes. That was last
Okay. So when they started talking, I'm like, you're right. Like,
year.
why do I do the things that I do? Why am I
Mhm.
always trying to be Superwoman for everybody else?
Mhm.
And then when she said, listen, we don't need to wait to get therapy when the house is on fire.
It's on fire already.
You need to get therapy to help manage so you can avoid catching on
Yeah.
fire. And I'm like, now, I've had a lot of things happen in my life. I
Mhm.
have always dealt with it, conquered it, so I thought, and
Mhm.
moved on and never thought to say, okay, I'm gonna need therapy. I'm gonna get
Yeah.
therapy.
Yeah.
I may have said it, but then when I heard those ladies, and it was two different speakers
Yeah.
who spoke on the topic of therapy and the need of just having that just for our past traumas, just for our ancestral, like all those things that really make up who we are and what we do and why we do the things we do. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and seek therapy. And I wrote that down as one of my goals and
Mhm.
I made sure I did it. And
Mhm.
because of that, I was like, now getting the perspective, like this is what I'll take away from her. She's like, every time you say yes to somebody else, you're saying no
No
to
to yourself. Yes.
and she's like, and so check yourself. She's like, and then I want you to think about it like, why are you saying yes so many times to so many people?
Yeah.
And did they ask you? Did they
Yeah.
ask you for help? Are you offering yourself? Or are they actually saying, Diamond, I have nobody else and I need to do X, Y, Z? And I'm like, no,
No. No, they're not.
no. She
They're
said,
not.
why would you do that? I
I'm
said,
just stepping in. Yes.
I don't know. I
So
just
no,
you
wait, was
never
that
asked me that.
Joy Hayden Bradford or was that Rachel Cargle? Because I think it
I
was,
think it's
well,
Joy.
Joy was is the doctor. She's the
Joy.
doctor. Yeah.
She's the
So
one who has a platform,
yes. Yes.
Black therapy for Black girls,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And then the other one was speaking about uh, the historical trauma that we have. So it was two different ones that talked about it. Oh gosh, I'm gonna get on my notes.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
so it was both of them. So it was reminders, just do it, just
Yeah.
kind of look into it, right?
Yeah.
And so that led me to, and even just recently, I've been off therapy for a long time, and I was like, somebody, I think it was Rashida, no, Stephanie's page, and somebody was talking about their therapist and what they said. I was like, dang, damn, you need to be back on therapy. And then someone else was talking to me about therapy. Was it my son?
Yesterday. It was
Might have been my son.
yesterday.
And then when I talked to you, he was like, you know what? You need to get back in therapy. I was like, I know,
We
because
weren't even
it's
talking
coming
about
to me
anything.
like,
Mine, like it was just we were talking about. I can't
I don't
remember
know.
what we were talking about,
It
and I
was
was
just another reminder
like,
like,
"And you
you
need
should
to
therapy.
get back in therapy."
Yeah. Right.
That
And
was it.
so
Yeah,
you're doing good. And I was like, I'm feeling good. And I'm
yeah.
like, I'm
But
great. I
see,
don't need it, but that
that's
doesn't mean I don't. Right.
because that's the thing. People like, oh, but I'm good. Because I was like that too. Remember, I
Mhm.
had gotten off. My therapist left or whatever, and I was like, okay, I'm good. I'm good.
Mhm.
And then you all left and went to South Africa,
Yeah. Sorry.
and I literally was like, because I'm in this mindfulness group too,
Mhm.
and I said, I'm gonna need to talk to somebody. I need to talk to somebody. And not having our weekly call,
Mm.
working from home remotely, it was winter time. So I
Yeah.
wasn't going out as much. At the top of this, I was saying, yeah, I go to the library and go to a cafe, but it's cold outside. No, I'm right here.
Yeah.
So, and it's a little bit easier when I'm in Atlanta because my sister works from home too. And, like you said,
Mhm.
the people in the house, you're able to
Yes.
converse
You
with
have
them. But
something.
no, when you
Mhm.
live alone, there's nobody.
Mhm.
So unless you invite them in, right? So I did. I was like, I need to talk to somebody. And it was like, because I feel like with a therapist in the beginning, you're doing this kind of auditioning them, they're auditioning
Yeah.
you to see, is it a good fit? Honey, from hello, I knew she was gonna work out.
That's
Because it was just like I was just
uh-huh.
throwing up all the stuff. And I mentioned it. I was like, my accountability partners are, in South Africa. And, because of timing, we can't, kind of schedule our calls until they get back into the States. And I'm just the mindful group is not enough. I need to, yeah. And
So
I
let me pause and say this again, and I'm sure I've said this to you before.
yeah.
I am so sorry that we dropped the ball on
No.
that. No, let me.
Okay.
I am so sorry that we dropped the ball on that, right? And when you said, I was like, dang, and I remember a couple of times Candace and I was like, dang, we need to check in DM to see what she doing. Why we check in? And then the day go by, we doing this and doing that, and we didn't do
Y'all did
it.
check in. Y'all did
So
check
every
in.
time we did.
Yeah.
But then when you said that, I was like, dang.
Yeah.
It hit me, and I'm like, you're right. That was the whole purpose of us having that. It shouldn't stop because we traveling.
Right.
And so I'm sorry that we dropped the ball on that, and we will
Right.
not do that again because we can figure out time zones.
We can figure out time zones. And since it is 4 of us, at the very least, we'll have, somebody who, to be able to tap into,
Mhm.
But funny enough, all of y'all were there because Frances was there too.
Yes, she was.
Now that I think about it. But anyway.
But she wasn't a part of the accountability group yet,
No,
but we were all together, and you were the
yeah,
only one who wasn't there.
Yeah. So, I mean.
And before you go on, I'm sorry, because the accountability group, I think when people hear that, they're like, oh, is this cool? But when you get into it and you're getting so much out of it, which is a testament to what you just said, when you missed our groups, it did something to you, right?
Yeah.
It did not, you needed it. It was something that you was used to being fed and provided that support. And then when it stopped, it was like, oh, wait.
Yeah.
How she need that?
Right.
That's part of my life that's not there no more. I'm
missing it. I'm
missing it and grieving it.
Yeah.
So realizing that you needed to tap into something else to help you through it.
Yeah.
Not everybody knows that, right? And I think now that we see how important it is, even for me, like I know Miss, I'm like, when we went to 2 weeks, I'm like, hey y'all, Miss y'all Wednesday. We're not meeting today. Just want to say hi.
Same.
Which is why I started doing my check-ins. I'm like, well, I haven't spoken to him. I'm just doing me a check-in.
Right.
Just a check-in for not just for me, but also for you, right? Like bounce off.
Absolutely.
And so I know it's so needed. And we found something that we need, and it's beneficial to us.
Mm-hmm.
That without it, I don't see it being not part of my life moving forward.
Right. Right. In some way, some shape, it will be there because it feeds me. Yeah. It's a definite part of my week. I schedule it like this goes like, okay, so we don't have it this week. Can I put something in that place? I'm hesitant to put something on Wednesday because I don't want it to, break up the monotony. But, I do appreciate, moving to, the bi-weekly twice a month versus, 4 times a month. Because it does give me cadence to work on things alone. But it, just like you said, it also gives me license to reach out to you individually.
Yeah.
There's like a list of things that I have that I've been, I talked to Frances, but I said, oh, let me just wait because she's doing this and da 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 da. So yeah, I got to get back on, some of those things, but yeah, it is. I don't know how my life would be if I didn't have it.
Yeah.
And so, just to, kind of go back to our plans, or let's kind of touch on our plans.
Yes, right. Because we touched on a lot so far. So yeah.
Yes.
But this is how we do. We just. But and then before you move on to that, remember last week when we met? That was our week to meet. We were so burnt out talking. We was like, child. Now Norma was sitting on that call, be talking, getting all this stuff. Everybody get their spotlight. Yeah. Candace was mentally, I said, girl, me too. I'm mentally drained. She was, you traveling. We was just like, friends had this going on. We was just like, yeah, we meeting, but we ain't meeting. We checking in. So every now and then, it doesn't have to be a full-on meeting. The check-ins are good. And me and Candace kept on saying, okay, we finna get off, we finna get off. We talked for probably
Mhm.
about 30 minutes before. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, now we need to go.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
sometimes we recognize when we need to just be like, all right, this week ain't gonna work. We ain't gonna get much. Or maybe this
Yeah.
week is not gonna be so heavy. We're just gonna kind of chit chat and check in and see how we doing. Sometimes we
Yeah.
just need a girls chat.
And sometimes you do
So
need that. And that's a part of the accountability.
yes.
That
And
is a part of
reading
the
the room, what they say, reading the room. Everybody's doing like, yeah, we just checking in because.
read the room. Exactly.
But
Just
can we still get goals out of that? Absolutely, because you was traveling back. You was saying you had to do X, Y, and Z. We know that you got to follow X, Y, and Z. You know, keep
yeah,
between us.
yeah.
And Candace doing her thing, and then even though we just chatting, we know there's things that we need to follow up on when we get ready to meet again,
Right.
just from us chatting alone. And that's because we know our tribe has been formed to a point where we've learned each other.
Mm-hmm.
We recognize what we are all working on and respecting that. And
Yeah.
so it
Yeah.
just gives us room to kind of like allow us to just be, right?
Yeah.
It's not heavy and
Right.
it's not
It
unwanted.
doesn't, it's not burdensome.
Yes, it's not.
It's not burdensome. It is again, it's an extension of what I need right now in my life. I don't know what, my next chapter will be. I don't know. I'm not even
Mhm.
looking out, Virgo girl is always looking down there. Um, but right now, this is exactly where and what I need.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's exactly where and what I need. And it also fuels my other relationships.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
really does.
It spills over. It absolutely does because I
Mhm.
learned so much from. And one of the things out of us, I'm the only one who have yet to start her YouTube page. So,
Ah,
we've talked about it and talked about it.
yeah.
And ironically enough, I was speaking to my cousin earlier today that I decided to
Okay.
plan another trip with. So
Yeah.
I go
There you
again.
go, travel girl.
And she was bringing up to me about my nephew got a YouTube page. I said, no. I
Ah,
said, really? I said, now I know I've been really procrastinating and
yeah.
procrastinating on doing this. I said, but I'm actually going to be meeting with one of my accountants. I'm going to be on her YouTube page today.
Yeah.
I said, at one time, it was like, it's going to be motivation for me to get to that point because I have yet to do it. I
Yeah.
keep saying I'm going to do it. And everybody's like, you always doing these videos and vlogging and doing this. When you going to have a page? I'm like, I'm going to
Yeah.
get to it. I'm going to get to it. So this is going to be one of the things I got to add back to. I don't know if I'm going to say the top, but it is something I need to revisit. Because,
Yeah. Add back to your goal list.
yeah,
Your goal list. And I'm taking
all the way
notes.
back. I
You
don't
know,
put it.
I know. I'm taking notes. So
I already
I'll
know.
hold you to it. But the thing for me is because if you're on here and you have already been subscribed to my channel, I haven't been on here in a while.
You haven't.
And some of it has been lifing, some of it has been actual. I don't want to know, I don't want to really put the F word on it.
Okay.
But if I'm honest,
Please.
it really is fear. Because and somebody was like, well, what is the fear? What, I don't
That's
understand. What is the fear? Because I know what it feels like to manifest something and it appears and it's here
and it happens.
and it happens.
Yeah.
And because my therapist asked me this too, outside of somebody else. And I honestly don't know what would be that next thing after this is successful.
Yes.
And she said, well, why do you have to have a next thing, know what the next thing is right now? Why
Mm.
can't you just be here? Again, dropped the mic moment. Dropped the mic because Virgo wants all the answers right here in front of her.
Mm-hmm.
She wants to know right now, right here. She just needs to know, and I think this is something that Francis and I have in common. It's like, oh, but if I don't know, then I don't know. I can't, I don't know how to, and I'm in my own way.
In our own way. When I said, so yesterday, during our accountability group, this was one of the things, because one of them was like, well, I don't know what it is. I'm like, well, we already know fear has always been in our face all the time, in our way all the time. Fear has always been the focal point. It's been like, okay, I can't do it because, but we need to say what it is and stop Stop saying, I don't know why, I don't know why. We know why.
No,
We
no,
know that is,
no.
I am
Mhm,
fearful of the unknown,
mhm,
the outcome,
mhm.
the what ifs,
Yeah.
this to that. We are fearful of what that looks like. And
Mhm,
we don't, and we have to start putting that name on, just name and say what it is. Like, what's the lady name? Call a spade a spade. That's what it is. We
yeah.
have been fearful of what the unknown looks like, that we won't do
Mhm,
it.
mhm.
And that's preventing us from even trying. That's preventing us from even seeing what that outcome could be. I know it's been a big thing for me. Fear has always prevented me from doing a lot of things in my life.
Mhm. Yeah.
And one of the things I tell my children, I'm like, I need you to try. My daughter always want to give us. I said, you gonna stop giving up on stuff. She just get easily distracted. I want to try this, but did you finish that? And I'm like, are you just don't, you're not interested, or are you afraid to see what's gonna happen? Right. And I asked that because no one's asked me that all my life. I'm like, I was afraid of trying this, afraid of trying that, and didn't know that's what it was. I didn't do it because I was afraid.
Yeah.
And now I'm saying, do it afraid.
Yeah.
The other day when I was talking to my sister who was here, oh my goodness, she was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, Sissy. I got a distance now. I was like, she said, I'm not sure. I said, well, do it afraid. She's like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that on my sticky note. I'm like, do
Right.
it afraid. I've learned that. I've heard that so many
Yeah.
times in Exodus
Yeah.
platform, is that sometimes we have to do
Do
this
it
stuff
right. Do
afraid.
it right.
Same thing I told Damaris yesterday. It's like, you're going on this trip regardless. I know you're scared. You're going to do it anyway. Do it
Yeah.
afraid.
Yeah.
I had those
Yeah.
fears too. And I got there. I'm doing it anyway. As much as I'm
Yeah.
like, what's
Yeah.
going to happen? I'm doing it. And the outcome will surprise you.
Surprised
If it
because
doesn't work,
somebody, I was talking to a friend of mine and they were like, wait a minute, you just told me you went skydiving. Like you jumped out of a plane. I was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. That happened. And you were afraid to do, I forget what it was that I was talking. I said, yeah, there's fear there. She was like, I don't understand. I make it make sense. Make
yeah,
it make sense. Make it
yeah.
make sense.
Because for me, like, I have a fear of heights.
Yeah.
But guess what? I'm gonna get on the plane afraid because I'm going somewhere. So
Right.
one thing I know, there are certain things I know that I've been afraid of, and I've done it anyway.
Yeah.
Didn't put the words to it, but
Yeah.
I've always been, well, not always, since I was a child, I gained a fear of heights and flying, and it's just always been. But I want to still do it because I want to see something else, and so I'm gonna get on the plane because I want to go. Now I
Yeah.
got to be controlled. Like, I'm a little bit. I have a whole system because I got to be
Yeah.
about so I can see. I got to hear. I got to look around. I'm gonna be the police on the plane. Like, I have a whole system. I got my word with me. I already got a little system. I have a system that helps me feel.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm still doing it afraid
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's something I haven't, over conquered yet. However, there are other things that I want to try, like
Yeah.
the zip lining thing. I'm like, maybe if I zip line somewhere,
Yeah.
that'll help.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'm gonna do that. Now I think I'm gonna keep getting on this plane. And
Right.
if we go to when we go to Vietnam and we climb that whatever where we got to go up in, I'm gonna go. Now
Right.
I'm gonna have a whole barrier together. I'm gonna have to
You're gonna
prepare
have your
myself.
stuff. Yeah.
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 So
For
I
you to
will
do
not.
it.
There are things that I know in life that I always want to do, and whatever the thing is that's keeping me from it,
Yeah.
I'm gonna still do it anyway. And there's things that I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure. I'm not ready.
Well,
I'm not sure.
you got your sister friends who are not gonna
Yeah.
let you fall,
Yeah.
And when it comes to your YouTube channel, girl, please.
I've been listen. I know. For so long, I've been saying I was going to do it. So I'm going to do
Yeah.
it. So
And so I think with me, I told myself, oh, I feel more comfortable when I have someone on there. So again, when I brought it up, well, actually, you brought this up to come on. And I was like, okay, I need to hold her to that. She's offered to do it. Let's actually do it. And I went ahead and made the thumbnail. Like I was like, let me just do that.
I didn't even know you did that.
And it was these little bit, because when I was doing the thing for your daughter, I was like, I'm already here. Why don't I just go ahead and do that? Again, I just put it over to the side and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what is, and then when I signed up for StreamYard, I was like, oh, so I can do this. And,
see,
again, I've, found, because I mean, we all have this thing where we know how to talk ourselves out of doing stuff, because I was like, oh, well, this is past, so I don't need to talk about this anymore, or whatever, I've come up with all kind, you name it, I've come up with it. Right. And, someone in the chat just said she found me just because she was researching voiceover, and I did something on on my channel about voiceover. So I popped up, with her just doing her research on that. So just knowing that,
Yeah.
because this is what Stephanie said. She was like, you have something to say that somebody needs to hear.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, I know.
You personally, and I'm saying this to you, Diane, you have something to say that somebody needs to hear.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've heard it, like, even my friend, she was like, Don, when you gonna start your page? When you gonna start I'm like, you know what, Daisha, you're right. She's like, you got all this stuff. I know you go. I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, yeah, I know. I'm
And
agreeing.
you can start with your IG, which you already over there doing stuff, but you can start with that. Another friend of mine did that from the Exodus Summit. She started with doing 30, I think it was 30 days of going on her page live. And I can't remember what her platform was or what was her content, but she did 30 days of it. Now she had some hiccups, because again, everybody human here. So
you don't know something.
And I think so in the middle of her 30 days, she was like, I'm just burnt out from it. Like I can't give anymore, And her sister was like, her sister said, well, you didn't say it had to be consecutive. So she went on her page and said, I need to take a little break. I'll be back.
Yeah.
She said, and she came back more refreshed and even better, and she gave it even more, So the thing is, you make these commitments because again, this is it'll be your channel, it'll be your page.
That's crazy that you saying
get to do what you want to do. And see, Stephanie said this in her YouTube, YouTube challenge?
She has one coming up soon.
They're in it right now.
It's today. It starts.
I think they started.
I thought it starts tomorrow or something.
Oh, it does. It starts. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it's like she was like, first of all, nobody's listening right now. So nobody's listening. You don't have.
That's what I told my cousin. I said, "Child, I've been saying I'm gonna do." I said, "But you got to be consistent with it. You got to make sure you do it." And now you're saying
I'm a full example that you don't have to be.
You just said, I'm like, oh,
because no, I'm a full example of that. Because sis, I started it like in like I feel like it was like in the spring, and then I didn't do nothing. Nothing. Because it was almost like I was like, oh, they're gonna let me okay, then I know. No, I can't do it anymore. And then I came back, kind of full force, and I got up to a number that I can go live or whatever. And then I was like, okay, I'm on. Yeah. Because it was this fear of success.
Yeah. Again, that's the fear. That's the fear that I put in my head that, oh, you got to be consistent. You got to be ready. Yeah. Oh, and the other thing is you got to have a specific topic. Oh, you got to do this. And all those things is like, you don't. Now you put all them other fears in front of you to prevent you from actually doing it.
Exactly.
I know the things and still here I am. Like I know all the things. Why do we do that? Like I know. But then what then? No, it's me. Again.
Deandra knows how to talk Deandra out of stuff. She knows how to talk her into stuff and talk her out of stuff.
Yeah. Just get in the way. We get in the way all the time.
I'm in my own way. And I know that having y'all, the accountability call, having therapy, doing my little talks with my sister, because I really just roll her up into, accountability partner. She's been my life accountability partner.
Yeah.
Because she's similar to, they're both Libras. Candace, in that she's a straight shooter.
Oh.
And she's like,
you've said that several times.
Yeah, you just need to do this. And she just like drops the mic. She says it, drops the mic, gone about, it's like, I'm gonna be over here because I already said what I said.
Yeah.
And I need that. That's the kind of, I need that kind of friend. I need that kind of sister who's going to just kind of give it to me straight, and and it's like holding up a mirror for me. I feel like they're just holding up a mirror saying, because you already knew this. This
You
ain't
know
new
it.
news.
You know it.
New news. You already know.
Doesn't make
You know,
sense.
it
Like all
doesn't
the
make
stuff that we
sense.
learned from Exodus. That's how I say all the stuff I've learned from Exodus Summit. I had to put some things in place. And I have definitely now I have my glasses on, but I see stuff popping up. But anyway, I have definitely learned so much from Exodus Summit that I have the tools.
Yeah.
There's no reason I'm not doing the things.
Yeah.
But then when you said something earlier, it was like every step that you've taken has been something. So what I have done since I got introduced to Exodus Summit, I have made it made a way for me to leave my place, not have overhead,
Oh my
take
God.
those responsibilities out, move from one city to another, like
Yeah.
one state to another,
Yeah.
to plan my exodus, to plan the
Mhm.
opportunities for me to
Mhm.
travel. I've done those things. I've done some steps.
You
And
stood
so,
up to your employer.
yeah, I left my job
Yeah.
and was offered something that was like, oh, hello, thank you. Something that I needed. And again, we manifested these things and not recognizing the things that I've done. Again, you said we need to recognize the things that you have done.
Appreciate what you
And
have
I'm like,
done, because you've done a lot, sis.
I
Like,
was
just
like,
since I've known you. Yes, since I've known you.
that's that thing about not always putting the spotlight on me. Like I've always been that stand under the radar kind of thing. Like, let me see what I can do for you type person.
Yeah.
Like I'm always want to help you do something and always minimizing the things that I've done. I don't know. That's just something I'm still working on. But yeah, when you said, I'm like, you're right. I started looking and thinking about all the things that I've done. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I did a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. I
And
mean, if we were to go back to our goals when we first started,
yeah.
we got some stuff we can check off.
We probably should do that.
Yeah. We got some stuff we can check off.
It's time to celebrate some things,
Yeah.
some of the things that we've accomplished. Yeah.
And the thing is, we need to celebrate on a daily basis.
We should.
Because we're doing things on a daily basis.
Every day.
You know.
That is so true.
You know, the being thankful for waking up always.
Thank
always,
you,
always.
Listen, we're going to have a conversation first. Me and him first. Y'all got to wait. Yeah.
But I think the thing that I keep coming back to is how I pour it back into myself.
Yeah.
How I pour back into myself. And then once I'm full, easily able to pour back into
it's my overflow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like I'm itching to give once I'm full, you know. And that is something straight out of let's call it the book of Exodus.
Exodus Summit. The book of Exodus Summit.
The book of Exodus Summit. You know.
Yeah, no, for real.
I mean, again, I will always put, voiceover. I mean, seriously, I can't say that enough. And just the way, I mean, I'm gonna always have my little angst about, doing it certain way. Cause again, that's Virgo girl.
Mm-hmm.
But Cassandra, who started the voiceover thing, again, that wasn't something, she didn't come to Exodus Summit to do that.
No, she just started, Again.
She didn't come to Exodus Summit. She just mentioned, this is what I do. This is how I funded my Exodus. I'm a voiceover artist. And people were like, whoa. Don't skip over that. Don't, bring it back to that. And it just out of that, because she even told us, she was like, y'all, I don't have anything. Like, I'm gonna start this from y'all and be the guinea pigs, And it literally was this, if y'all gonna ride with me, through the kinks, because that's what it is when you're trying something new, then we can do this.
Yeah.
And I think we were all like, yeah, we got you. What, tell us, where
you expect those things to happen.
Yes.
That's what you learn.
Right.
That's how we learn.
And I feel like that's the same way, that's the same way Stephanie and Rashida started this community. Is we don't know everything, and what we don't know, we're gonna go find somebody to tell y'all about it.
Mm-hmm.
But if y'all just bear with me,
Yeah.
and know that if you are with me through the kinks,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
we're gonna all be okay.
Yeah. And it all works out. And
It's
like
a
they said too, they've changed the way they've done the summit. From the beginning, they said they had a whole week. And I was like, they had a whole week of summit? She was like, they had a whole week. And then
yeah,
she said, then it went, then y'all was down, we down to a weekend. So now it's been a weekend. Then they shifted from how we do this. And even think about the small things, like
yeah,
when we did the meetup, I wouldn't do the Mexico meetup, but how they did
right,
the meetup for the first time in Mexico to Marrakesh. Now even the ticket, I think somebody was talking about that. I was talking about that yesterday. Like
yeah,
they probably realized, look, that's too much work, it's too complicated. We're gonna change that. It's okay
right,
to change. And when you go
right.
through those things, you learn, right?
What's
But
working?
that's how we was able to get like
Yeah, yeah,
remember before, like when you bought the ticket for a meetup, you could get a refund by a certain time.
right.
Last year,
Yeah.
it's like, no, make
No,
sure you
no.
want your ticket.
And
You
they
got no
made a
refund.
whole thing about it. They made a
Yes.
whole video on it. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna tell
Yeah.
you like
Because
this.
you learn from that, right?
Yes,
And they've learned, I'm sure there's still going
yeah,
to be many things that they're going to learn from by going through the kinks, by going through the challenges that come along with stuff. So we
yeah,
should, that's a fear that I think a lot of us put in place why we don't start stuff. I know
yeah.
me, she,
Mhm.
that I don't want to go through the challenges. Well, why not?
Right,
Everybody else, and nobody's stuff is perfect.
right,
Do you know what they did to get to where they are?
right.
They ran into a couple of walls
Yeah, yeah,
and they just went around them and kept it going, And
yeah,
so I think with what we've been talking about,
yeah,
and a lot of people, and this fear thing that keeps putting in our way, we're gonna have to still keep on going
yeah,
regardless. And I'm speaking to myself that although I'm thinking about all the things that, well, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do it. Why not just do it anyway? Because you're not going to know until you go through it. And
you
going
never
through
know.
it, it's not going to be easy, but you will learn
Yeah,
whether you're going to stay on the boat or not. Because
yeah,
you may try it out, like, okay,
right.
this ain't for me.
Yeah,
And be
yeah.
okay
And
with
you
that.
won't know until
Because
like the woman you spoke about who her after she did the Move Abroad Exodus Summit Move Abroad survey, and it keeps coming up.
yeah,
Panama, she won't know that that is her
no,
place until she
exactly.
goes.
Right. And so once
Because
again,
I,
don't
I
let them
mean,
prevent you from doing things.
because here's the thing. Um, so remember I told you that I told a friend about going to Vietnam and Thailand. First thing she said was, "Ooh, bugs are over there."
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now, you know, I don't like bugs. I do not like bugs. That is not a thing that I like.
We don't get along at all.
So, and because of the type of person I am, this is a good friend of mine, so I'm listening to her. But the first thing I responded to what her was, I'm not gonna take that. That's yours.
Mm, mm,
That's not mine.
that's
I'm
good.
not gonna take that. And she's a Virgo too, by the way. And she said, What do you mean?" I said, "Well, there are bugs everywhere, and that seems to be your thing. I'm going anyway.
Right.
I'm not gonna let that stop me." And I didn't say it in a mean way or anything
Right.
like that. And she even said, she was like, "Thank you for saying that," because she said, I said, I'm thinking that I did say this. I think you're trying to find a reason not to go.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, I would have used that as a reason for me not to go, but I'm not gonna take it.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
want,
goodness gracious.
and I want you not to take it, but I'm not. I'm gonna let you do what you do if that's one of your things. Bugs, because I mean, there are bugs everywhere.
Yeah.
We live in New York, so I know. And so
Wow.
she thanked me. She
Yeah.
said, "Thank you." She said, because it is a thing that I didn't even know that I was putting something in the way
Mm-hmm.
of doing it. Because it wasn't like I was telling her, "Hey girl, don't you want to go?" I did not do that.
Right.
We were just talking about travel, and I was like, "Yeah, we're gonna do da 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 da." And she was like, "Yeah, I don't know if I want to do that." Again, I wasn't asking, "Hey, don't you want to?" But not having been asked, you're gonna already say, "Oh, I can't do that because they got bugs over there." Yeah, they got bugs everywhere, sis.
Now, this is making me think, because how many people then this is gonna resonate. You'll be, talking about something you're gonna do or interested in, and they be like, "Oh, girl, I don't know about that. That's
Yeah.
me." Well, that's for you, and that's okay, right?
Mhm.
So when you just said, I'm like, "Oh man, I'm gonna start doing that,"
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
when people were saying, like, when I was saying I'm gonna live across, out of the U.S., I want to move, I want to travel, and it was like, "Girl, why you? It's
Yeah.
dangerous." I'm like,
I get that all the time.
"Why should you tell me?"
I get that all the time.
People start saying and spewing and putting their fears on you, and there has been times I'm like,
Mhm.
you know what? You're right. Not just about the travel, but just other things. People start saying,
Moving to
"You
New
know
York? Are
what?
you kidding me? When I
You
moved
like
to New
that?
York,
I don't know why you like that. I don't know because
why would you want to move to New York? And da,
yeah,
da, da,
like,
da, da, da.
oh, you better be careful going here. You better be careful trying this. Oh, don't like it's all the things they talk about because it's something that they are afraid of. And
Yes.
there has been times, and I'm like,
Mhm.
man, you're right. Maybe I need
Yeah.
to rethink that.
Uh-huh.
But I'm like, I have stopped and I realize I'm like, you know what?
That ain't
I'm
yours.
catching people who are saying that, but I have not done that to them. I just
Yeah.
let them talk. I'm like, okay. And
Yeah.
I'll never correct them. I just let them
Yeah.
talk because in my mind, I'm like, that's just
It's,
how they feel.
you
But
know, because I don't
good
blame
lesson.
them or anything. Because
No, 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 no.
I think what it comes down to is it honestly that is hers. That's not
Yeah.
mine.
And she didn't realize that's what she was doing. And so
Right.
obviously for me, I need to start
Exactly. Exactly.
like you putting your fears on me, and that's not fair.
Mhm. Exactly.
That's not
And
okay.
and you getting ready to stop yourself from doing something that hey
Mhm.
you're gonna have somebody there with you. You're not gonna be doing this alone,
Yeah.
you know. And that's the other thing. I was like, I said to her, I was like, I'll because she said, well, can you please after all this, I said all that, she said, well, could you let me know when y'all, when you're planning it? I said, because we don't have dates yet. This is before our dates came in.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, can you let me know? I said, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
Because I think she did. She thought, she's like, you're right. I'm using a fear that is one, if I'm, I can't deal with bugs. I live in New York City. She's not only does she live here, she's from here, born and raised here. So, she
That's
knows.
just like saying Florida don't like water.
Yes.
You better learn how to swim or this.
There's
I'm
bugs
like,
everywhere.
naked.
And so I understand that because I have my own fears, and I know that I put stuff out there and it is mine. Some of it is, I like a jury when I'm trying to make a decision. So I'm calling people, hey, this is happening and blah, 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 blah. And I am looking for, on some of those things, I am looking for the jury verdict on it,
Yeah.
On a lot of when it comes to travel, I made up my mind.
Yes. I'm my mind's
2025, I'm getting up out of here.
yeah. Yeah.
I'm getting on somebody's plane. Now I didn't know I was gonna be doing all of this, but
Right. Which leads us into the next
yes.
topic of what Exodus. The crazy thing is this. Before Stephanie even mentioned about how doing, she did an interview with somebody on her page, and they were talking about Vietnam, and she lives there.
Uh-huh.
We were already talking about it. We manifest because we knew they told us we're not doing
was on that one. I
Yes,
was on there,
me,
and she was like,
Anita.
oh, we're going there, and she was like, well, we're gonna need to.
So again, changing because Exodus Summit changed up. They said we're not doing this meetup like this no more. We're not doing this. So Cape Town will probably be the last meetup. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
Well, we're already creating these meetups anyway.
Yeah.
And we started talking about our own traveling, meeting up, and so on and so forth. And then a month, not even a month later, she's talking about going, and that was a whole meetup happening in Vietnam. So it's like we were already planning this, and it manifested into an actual meetup. We was gonna have our own little situation, but now it's gonna be the more the merrier. Come on over, right?
Please.
So anyway, let's lead into that because I know you wanted to touch on that today about now that we have gotten through the summit.
Yes.
Talk about for 2025
travel. And I think for us, you and I, there's another component because we're going to also trusted house sitters. That was another segment that was, again, she does a segment on that. She's done that from the very beginning. So she's done at least 5 sessions on it, right?
Absolutely.
Every damn time. every damn time. She says something, and I'm like, okay, I need to write that down. That's me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So we do have to do that.
Yes. So we're doing that. Now,
This
I
will be
don't
nice.
know if that will lead to anything that we're to the places that we're going. Maybe Bali. Maybe Bali. But I don't know. I don't know. And that's all I'm saying that only because that's the only one right now that I'm the only one who's doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you said maybe.
You know me. I'm the one that's
Yeah.
like, you going, let me figure it out.
Let me see. Let
I'm
me
going
see.
there too.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's the only one right now, and that's the only one that I've been doing the most research on because I know that that's the leg right now that I'm the only one. So I need to, okay, when am I know my dates are still kind of up in the air because I'm still not sure how long I'm going to be in Vietnam because I'm willing to,
Yeah.
I don't have no, I don't have,
Pivot to some things,
so
right?
yeah, but the Bali leg, at the very least, I want to be there for 2 weeks. At the very least, maybe long. I'd said longer, but depending on how long I'm in Vietnam, I might be ready to, bring it on back.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of trusted house sitters, that's the only leg that I can see right now that I may.
We wasn't just talking about trusted house sitters we need to do regardless because
Right,
we're not for this.
100%.
But in the States, out of the States, wherever we go, it could be beneficial, right?
Yeah.
We've seen that, we know it.
Yeah.
Stephanie has talked about it at every summit. We have seen so many women transform into being able to travel and do the things they need to do because of it. And so even you and I both signed up for it.
Girl, don't tell
Stephanie, if you're listening, we are sorry. Signed up for it, paid for the subscription, ain't do now one house sit.
Not one.
And so,
well, I got one, but
you asked me if I wanted to do it. I'm like, I can't do it.
No.
But guess what I think it was? Let's say what it is.
Yeah.
Fear.
Oh yeah. Okay. Oh yeah.
Afraid, like I don't know. I think for me, I'm like, oh, I had an offer to do a house, and I hadn't even put it up there. It was somebody who was like, oh, Diamond's on it. You want to? And she reached out to me. I'm like, oh. I just couldn't do it at the time. I was going somewhere for the holidays, and that's what she needed it for. But I was like, dang, I didn't even try. Yeah. And I already got a house sit offered to me. Mm-hmm. And so it's not that we know it can't be possible. We see so many people doing it.
Yeah.
So this time around, we're going to put it into
I think for me, it is also because I know that 2025, there's going to be some definite living situation changes for me, as you know.
Insane.
So with that, I know that I'm going to need trusted house sitters to kind of help offset that, to audition different places. Because I'm quite sure that it may not be, New York City. So I want to be able to, Virgo
and explore. And another way for us to explore, travel, do the things.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it's one of those things where I didn't even know that was possible. And
I was already doing it and didn't realize what I was doing.
You were doing, yes. Well, I told somebody who is a traveler, and he was like, "Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to live in somebody?" I said, Now, I didn't say this to him, but that was his.
Yeah.
That was another situation of that's his stuff. That's not mine. That's not mine. That's not mine. So, yeah, that's in there. The other thing that I wanted to bring up with our plans for the winter travel is I definitely want to do either in Turkey or Vietnam the medical exam.
That's a big motivator for me.
That's huge. And I actually looked up, and I don't have my tablet here, but I looked up places you could do it in Vietnam.
You did good, because I know that was something we touched on, because Turkey keep popping up. Listen, I don't send them an email and everything. They don't call me, send me a message. I'm like, let me just look at some other places, because I really want to do that.
Well, I think that's good because I want to see what they're saying about Turkey. There's D. I want to see what they're saying in Turkey and compare the two.
Uh-huh.
Because yeah, I mean, so
I
my
don't know.
motivation is I told you that or maybe I didn't. I can't remember. I know I told my sister that my doctor ordered a MRI. So I go and I make the, call the place and make the appointment. And towards the end of the call, she's like, okay, and so that'll be $687, almost 700. I don't know why she didn't just say $700. And so I'm like writing stuff down and putting stuff in my calendar. And I said, whoa, 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 whoa. I said, well, what did you say? She said, yes, your payment will be blah, 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 what the number. I said, I don't understand because I have insurance. I do work and I have insurance, y'all, just in case you were wondering. And she said, yeah, but your deductible. I said, well, what you need to do right now is you need to cancel that appointment. The appointment we just made. I said, yes, you need to take that off. She said, well, maybe you should just call your insurance. I said, for them to tell me what you just told me, that I'm going to have to pay you $687 of that I don't have. She said, well, we have a payment plan. I said, again, you're just saying postpone giving you money that I just told you I don't have.
And it's just for MRI.
That's all it is. And then I
said,
no. You need to say just, because when I saw the Turkey thing, the girl went through everything that she got done. And it was half of that. It wasn't even half, it was less than half of that.
Yeah.
And she got the MRI, she got
everything.
A PAP, all things.
Dental. Every part of your body.
Yes. I said, start right there.
That's the US. That's the US.
We're doing that.
So that's something I know is a big motivator for me.
So yes, that's on the list. So that is, I'm saying that to say that if it's Turkey, I may go there first and then come in, because I can do that. Like, well, the one that I saw in Turkey, they take appointments on Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to research on that, because we have our travel plans already set.
Yes.
And we need to figure out where we can fit that in.
Yeah.
And I haven't bought my ticket yet.
I haven't bought mine either. Not
the first leg of anything. And I know Candace and I think Anita and anyway, I'm behind the ball, because if I'm talking about leaving and being gone in time for my birthday, I think I think I had booked my ticket last year by now. I think. I don't know.
No, maybe. You haven't. Remember? Wow. So I got a good memory.
Okay.
Remember? Yes, because remember, I did your itinerary. I gave you two.
Right.
And we didn't do that until December. We didn't do that
No.
Yeah.
Because it had to be November, because remember, I was already in Florida in December. So my ticket was booked before I left for Florida. Because I went to Florida.
Okay, you know what?
Leave out.
I'm not gonna look at receipts.
But it might have been November.
It was towards the
end.
It
was later.
It was towards the end, because remember you said I'm really behind the 8 ball. If I don't do it now, I shouldn't go. Because I remember you saying, because remember when I looked up the stuff, I was like, Diamond, if you don't go ahead and get this,
you're right. It was late.
Yeah, but so if it was in November, it was mid to end.
But either way, I did it. And I my ticket so I can go.
Yeah, well, we have to, because Candace is like, yesterday. I need y'all to get your
so we know we're going to be there for the meetup in Vietnam. And I think a lot of women are already talking about coming to meet up. That's maybe a great time, right? Yeah. But we already going to be starting our travels much earlier than that.
Right.
So another thing, I would not have been doing. Let me not say that. No, I wouldn't have been doing. Talking about leaving for a couple months nowhere before the ExodUS Summit came around. Okay, in my life.
Yeah.
Because I would have been like, first of all, how you gonna do this?
Yeah.
Now the difference that I'm excited about this time around is that I will still have income coming in and have a job that is supportive of me
Yeah.
traveling and being able to work. Who's made sure there was upfront discussion that we will accommodate
Yeah.
you for what you have in store. They knew my desire to travel
Yeah.
and outside of the US for long periods of time.
Mhm.
And even the conversations that we have, and she's like, look, I'm trying to lighten up your load. So no matter where you at, you can do the job, time zone, doesn't matter. I
Yeah.
have never had that before.
Yeah.
And I can speak now that when I did it this year in January, I was on the low low.
Yeah.
I was trying to get the time and it was a hassle and I knew it
Mhm.
wasn't gonna work and
Mhm.
I had a whole lot of other stuff
Yeah.
going on.
And
So
I think therein lies the stress that you were under too.
the stress I was under that I needed that for
Mhm.
myself. Like it
Mhm.
was something like I knew at that time, damn, you need to go ahead and do this. I know what it felt like when I went to South Africa the first time to Johannesburg, the peace that came over me
Mhm.
and how much I loved it that I'm like, I need that right now. I
Mhm.
have all this stuff going on. I know if I go, I'm gonna be fine. And
Yeah.
I went, right?
Mhm.
On different terms.
Yeah.
And I will say, although I was able to go for 6 weeks and live in South Africa, amazing time that I had that I learned so much about myself.
Mhm.
I do regret having that over my head that it wasn't something I could be out and open about, right?
Right.
Because of what I was going through
Yeah.
with work
Yeah.
and personally,
Yeah.
I wasn't able to live out loud like I like to share
Yeah.
my experiences.
Right.
It dampened the trip for me, right?
Yeah.
And so I will say, as much as I had an amazing time to have pictures and videos to show for it,
Right.
there was still a cloud
Yeah.
that I had to take with me that particular time. And I don't want to do that again. And so now I'm excited about having the opportunity to travel again outside of the US for
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
haven't even put a number time frame, but at least
I
a month
know.
here.
Yeah.
Um, but I'll have my work who is going to remote job that I have
Yeah.
that is going to support
Support
me.
you in doing that.
I don't
Yeah.
have to hide and
Mhm.
find tricks and hacks and try to
Yeah.
be into this and this and that and the third. I don't have to do any of that
Right.
because me and my employer have already established that we
Right.
know this. This is
Right.
Diamond. This is what she do.
Yeah.
It's a part of her life. And
Right.
she says, I see the value in you and I need you to come on
Right.
my team.
Right.
I will come on, bring you on my team, and I'm going to accommodate whatever you need. We're
Mhm.
going to work this thing out together.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so to have that, I have never had that before, okay? But to have that
Yeah.
support and your employee
I
being
know.
able to value what
Yeah.
you brings to the table.
Yeah.
And we had a training not so long ago that was talking about some of the things like, what is the difference between this employer and you had in other ones? And I'm like, the value, I feel valued, I feel
Mhm.
seen. I feel like my expertise is very important to what they need in order for them
Mhm.
to continue to flourish,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so with that, that builds that confidence in you. I love my job. I love the things that I do. I love working in child welfare. I love working with foster families, and
Yeah.
I love that. Right, this
Mhm.
is a field that I've been passionate about for so many years. But
Mhm.
to say that I have a feeling that I have not had in over 20 years that I've been in this field, to be able to do the work that I'm
Mhm.
doing, and someone who supports you
Yeah.
do it from so many perspectives, right? I'm excited
Right.
about
It's a
that.
game changer.
Working and
It's a game changer.
it is. Yes, so I can remote and travel and work and
Mhm.
make
Mhm.
sure I have an income coming in
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
not worrying about those things.
Mhm.
Um, because of what this remote job is bringing me, right?
Right.
And because I have a relationship with my employer that's open
Mhm.
and it's honest.
Yeah.
That piece, yes, I'm gonna be traveling, have to work.
Yeah.
I know I travel, I'm in place. I'm always outside, but I be working. Now I be
Yeah.
working now.
Yeah.
But that's because the job has afforded me to be able to do so.
Right.
This is going to be in a different light. Now that piece
Yeah.
about it is going to be really exciting.
Yeah.
So I'm looking
I
forward
like
to
it.
really bringing
Yeah.
the folks on with my trip for real. I'll be like,
Yeah.
hey
Yeah.
y'all,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but no,
Well, I think that also may be the catalyst for you starting your YouTube channel as well.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm
That's a
just,
whole story in
I'm,
itself, right?
I'm just whispering. Yeah.
Whatever. But no, you're right. That is definitely a story in
Yeah.
itself.
Mhm.
It's been something I've been aiming for, and a lot of us are. The
Yeah.
Libria Jones segment has always been like, ooh, ooh.
Again, like I said, I can't
I'm
even.
like,
So, because
Yeah.
Libria, Adelia, both Stephanie and Rashida's segment,
Mhm.
all of those, I'm like, okay, I don't really need to see them because blah 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 blah.
No, yeah, you do. Yes, we do.
Perfect. 100%.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
100.
And you know, putting the words to Rashida's Burnout to Bliss and what she offers in her program, already knew that's where I was. So I'm like, dang, I am
We were
burnt out.
telling you that. We
I
were
am
telling
there.
you that.
Like,
We were
I
telling you
know
that.
that, right? And I'm like, that's what's wrong. I need to just get out of this
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
environment, right?
But
And
we were saying that on our calls.
yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of talking to the audience now because
Okay.
literally we were on our accountability call. We were like, Diamond, you're not doing. We can see it in you. We can hear it in you. You're not doing well, girl.
Whew.
I mean, I know you're in therapy, and I know you're talking to us, but yeah, it's
It
the
was
job.
not good.
It's the job. It's the
I'm
job.
gonna tell you what my therapist said to me after I accepted the offer and was into the position, and I had my session with her. We were talking. She was like, "Wait a minute, who is this? Who is this Diamond I'm talking to?" She said, "Are you looking?" She's like, "Even just." She's like, I, she said, I like this one. I like this one. I'm like, oh, so I know I feel so good. Like I was, she said, I see the difference in you. And she also said to me, you know, still had therapy when I was over in South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
She said, I see a difference in you even there. She was like, you just seem so refreshed. When I got back and had my session, she was like, yeah, I can tell you back in the US.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? She was like, yeah, I can tell you did so well when you were gone. That I can see the difference in the shift in you since you've been back.
Yeah.
And then when we had when the shift happened, the transition happened with the job, she was like, what you need me for? Right? She was like, you have did the work. And she's like, whatever occurred or whatever happened to get you to this point, this is where you need to continue to go on.
Yeah.
Don't go backwards.
Yeah.
And then shortly after that, like my sessions kind of dwindled out only because insurance was shifting.
Right. Right. Having to shift
and,
but yeah. I mean, it's funny how again, like when the mirrors are, you know, kind of show the reflections of what's happening, you know, because like you're in it, you're living your life, right? But when the mirror is held up and you're able to see it, and people are able to see it,
people, my friends and family, they saw it. I was heavy.
Yes.
But here's the thing. I'm sure I've been there before, but because being heavy and being in environments like that was something that we just had to learn to figure out, maneuver through. It was just like, okay, we just keep on going and go through it, right? There was no, wait a minute, you don't need to do this. Wait a minute, let's recognize all the stress you're dealing with. Wait a minute, it wasn't that. It was like, this is normal. I'm used to trials and tribulations. I'm used to all the ins and outs. I'm used to living through that. That has been my life. I have gone through so many struggles and challenges in my life that when it came about, I just figured out a way to maneuver through it.
Right.
Stop and say.
I remember when you got back and we talked and you were like, okay, they denied, blah, blah, blah. And well, what can I do to help? You know, let me see what did it say in this, you know, email or whatever. And all I kept, because I even called Candace, I was like, what did you tell her? Because this is what I told her, but I don't know if this was right because I've never done, you know. So it was just like, we were just trying to, and she was like, I don't know, but, you know, I told her this and good if you told her that, you know, it's just like we're trying to, it's the accountability.
Yeah, you were trying. And you guys did an amazing job helping me through it. But here's the thing, I also realized I wasn't the only person that went through the same steps and still got the same outcome. Right. So not too far after that, when Marissa Price, she was on what's she on Stephanie's? She was a guest on somebody's live one day. Or it could have been her page. And she was talking, I'm like, oh my gosh, I went through the same thing, right? Yeah. You know, we went through the same steps and the outcome was still the same. Deny. And then we have to remember that we're in a world, in a system where insurance is not for us, really. You know, it's really about making the money for the big whoever, right? And so they're designed to figure out how to not pay you, how to not make sure you're healthy enough. Not. It's always about how to not. But you keep paying me.
Yes.
But we ain't trying to give you what you say we can give you. We're trying to give you that, right?
Girl, that's why That's
I
the
gave up.
exact reason why I want to do the thing over in Turkey or Vietnam, is
Mhm.
because I walk out of the doctor's office here and it's all doom and gloom and this is what you have, but you're not really telling me how to cure this,
No.
only to put a band-aid on it.
How
Take this
to get your
pill
money back. That's it.
so you'll be back here, right?
Mhm.
And so I literally, my last visit, walked out of there. The tears were right here.
Mm.
I felt them. They were right here. And I opened the door, stepped out. The sun was shining, and I was going to walk back home because it's not too far from my apartment. And I said, here's the thing. You get to do what's best for you, Deanna.
Yes. That's so true.
You get to do this. You get to go home and do your Virgo thing and look up and he told you it was this, but what are the things that Deanda can do
Yeah.
to make
He's your own
sure?
advocate. Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah. You just some, and you know what? Some things, and I think this was one of them. I kept on saying, I'm gonna fight it through. At first, I was like, some things I just don't want to fight. Some things is not worth my time and my energy. I'm like, you know what? You can have it. Merry Christmas. You got it. Put a bow
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
it. And that was one of the things. Like even the lady called me back, one of the claims, but she was like, okay, I'm just giving you another chance. Another day is coming out, and they denied the first time one. I said, you know what? I said, no, this has nothing to do with you. I said, but I don't have the energy to
Mhm.
try to send you nothing else.
Yeah.
If y'all gonna approve me when y'all ain't gonna approve me. I said, so I'm probably just gonna let them give me it. Y'all figure out what y'all gonna do at the end of the day.
Mm.
I'm okay. And I was just like, I don't want to fight this no more. And I
Yeah.
think it's designed that way to give you so
Oh
much
yeah. Oh
hell
yeah.
to make you give up, right? And I'm a fighter. I'm like, I ain't
Yeah.
giving up. But you know what? I said, Diamond, this gonna stress you out more than it's gonna help you. So I said,
So you know what? I have a friend who did this just not too long ago.
mm-hmm.
And she did get approved, but it took forever. And she said that's what it was. She was going to therapy for this. She was going to therapy for the trying to get it. And
Mm,
then she got it, and she knew that she needed. She did it for only 30 days, and she would have had to re-up and
right.
do it all over again.
Yeah.
She said that stressed her no end, and she was just like, okay, I'm gonna go back because she likes her job.
Mm,
But she was like, I don't like the person that I'm working with, so I need to get out. And this person has now left. And so she was, she did kind of this, check, the person has left. This is how I can go in. I did get some rest.
mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm.
need more, but I know if I go, put in another application to do it for another 30 days, the trauma from that is gonna
A whole nother.
send me on a whole nother
For
thing.
those, and I'm sorry, because I'm sure we're talking because we know what we're talking about. What we were talking about is applying for short-term disability for getting some time off for rest. One of the things I know we learned from Exodus Summit is that we need to sometimes take a pause. Our
It's a blessing.
jobs can be so toxic that
Yeah.
it brings on stress and mental health crisis and health issues, depression, frustration that we need a break. And our job, we're not, it's not a norm here in the US for us to take a break from work unless it's your 2 weeks, 2 weeks for
But it's
vacation.
your right. It
But
is your right.
right. And so it's like when you have short-term disability, long-term, like when you have those insurances, it's supposed to be designed to help you when you are in need. And what we were talking about is that I attempted to get short-term disability approved to take some time because I was in a rut with that job and I know it was affecting me with everything. And I kept getting denied and they wanted more. And I'm like, a doctor has given you all that you can, and you still telling her she don't know what she's talking about. I knew then, okay, y'all. And even though you guys were helping me through the process,
Mhm.
my son even helped me because
Yeah,
like people were helping me try to do it and submit
yeah,
the claims because it's so much red tape you got to go through just to
so
get
much,
accepted. It's a
so
hot
much.
mess.
Yeah.
And to get denied for something like I could have utilized. Now, granted, my FMLA, I was able to take the time, but I did not get paid for it. Did
Mhm.
it stop me from still doing the things? No, it did not stop me. Thank God, because I know some people would not have been able to do that without
Mhm.
income.
Yeah.
And that's something I'm like,
And that
how
was a
many
blessing.
yeah,
Yeah.
that for me was a blessing to be able to still take the time that I needed
Mhm.
off Not having income coming in, but I prepared. I did say I'm gonna save enough just in case it don't happen, right? I'm gonna
Mhm.
put some money aside just in case they say no. I
Mhm.
have some other streams that I can figure out if I need to get a little extra, I can do that, right? And I did that. But think about the many, so many. I'm sure you know somebody, your family, your friends, your next door neighbor, that has had to stay in a job that was so toxic and
Yeah.
unhealthy because they had to work, because they had to bring income in the house, and there was no way they can take a break from themselves, and they literally died on their job, died because of the stress that they had been put
Yeah.
through. Um,
Literally died.
right, and so it's like we have to make sure we take ownership. We have to advocate for ourselves. This has never been something that I thought about, even knew that existed, that I could tap into before coming and before being a part of Exodus Summit. Is that this, you can do this. This is something that you have the right to advocate for yourself to get what you need. And a job should not dictate that. If you
Yeah.
are burnt out and you are not doing well, you're not thriving in your at your job, you shouldn't be forced to have to do it. But some people are. So I'm not minimizing that some people are in
Yeah.
a position where they have to. But
Yeah.
when you can set it up where you can take that break and take that time for yourself,
Mhm.
take advantage of it
Take
and
advantage
figure
of
it
it.
out, because at the end of the day, you get one life, and
And
that's
that
it.
job is going to be there. They're just going to
Keep
find
on going,
somebody to take your place.
and keep on going. And I've learned that, and just listening to so many of the women that have experiences just in the Exodus
Mhm.
Summit and talking to
Yeah.
other people, like, dang, you're
Mhm.
right. We put so much time and effort into working for these people that we don't do that for ourselves. We really do the bare minimum for ourselves. Self care,
Mhm.
what?
I
Who?
know.
What you mean? Who said you can rest? What
Yeah.
you resting for? Rest when you
Especially
die.
being
No,
a
ma'am.
woman, especially being a woman, and
Yes.
especially being a Black woman.
Yes. That we're supposed to just keep carrying all this
Yeah.
stuff, keep moving forward. But that's what
Mhm.
I always knew and kept it
Yeah.
going. And now I'm like, gosh, I have spent so many years just, it was a normal lifestyle for me to just go through the challenges and go through
Yeah.
the stress and keep it going, because I got to feed people and I got bills, like all those things was like, girl, you got time to stop and think about it.
Yeah.
Someone else told me, no, you do,
Yeah.
because you have time.
Yeah.
And if you don't take the time now, your time may be shortened here.
Yeah.
So what's your option here?
That's right.
And I know I want to live long as I can because I got places to go and people to see.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I totally agree. And like I said, if you don't put yourself first, if you don't take care of you, advocate
Mhm.
for yourself,
Yeah.
with your employer, with your doctors, with the insurance companies, all the people, all the things,
Yeah.
you know, you're right. That is you shortening your life for
Hmm.
somebody else, really, because you're not
Yeah.
doing it for
Someone
you.
else's game. Somebody
Yeah.
else's game.
You're
Yeah.
not doing it for you. You're not doing it for you. And so that's one of the things that Exodus Summit has afforded us.
Hmm.
One, the possibilities, to see the possibilities and to see that, damn it, we could do that. I
Hmm.
can actually do that.
Yeah.
And so what this is also showing you is, for your next trip, long-term trip, is how you're planning that. You're in a whole different place with an employer that
Mhm.
is understanding and knows, and they're not, behind the scenes saying no, 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 um so you're able to look at it from a different vantage point. You're able to see the possibilities
Yeah.
and do more. So this YouTube channel is, again, I'm whispering. Yeah.
Okay. I
But
know it's gonna come. It's coming.
yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah.
coming. And so I'm gonna do a little bit more in the research of the medical thing and seeing if it's going to be Vietnam versus Turkey, and what is all included in the packages or whatever. Because the one that I found in Vietnam, it's like they have packages.
Okay.
They had 3 of them that I saw in this one place. But I need to figure out like where we're gonna be in certain place. That's why I called. Was the reason why I called Candace yesterday. Is
Okay.
I need you to give me exact. I'm on this flight. I'm leaving to go here on this date. One, so I can say, okay, well, I'll be on that flight with you. Or two, okay, I can go ahead and set this up for either Turkey or Vietnam. So
Mhm.
I'll know which place. And either way, I will give you all of the information so you can make an informed decision on which place you want to do it in,
Okay.
and the cost and all the things. Um, and so that's one of the things that I will work on this week,
Mhm.
and try to pass that on to you in the middle of my Halloween stuff.
Oh, yeah, you
Uh,
have
at
stuff
the end of the
coming
month,
in.
yeah. And I'm buying my ticket between now and before I go leave for Atlanta for Thanksgiving.
Mm.
So
I
I
gotta buy mine before I leave to go to
yeah,
Florida next week.
I
Well,
want to
next
yeah,
month. Yeah.
yeah. I want to have it before then. At least the first leg of it. I want to have
So
some.
let me propose this since we have all these things that we're planning before
Okay.
and heading up to trips. Maybe we should, I know we're doing bi-weekly, but we probably need to get on a call and kind of iron some of this stuff out
Okay.
until
I
we
agree.
can kind of get things instead of
Okay.
doing it bi-weekly. So maybe
Okay.
that's something we can just turn back on for now. And for those who want to get on, like, because I know we have a lot of things to iron out. We're trying to connect and meet up in different places.
Yeah.
This may make sense for us to meet
I agree. I
regularly
agree.
until we get it all figured
Yeah.
out.
Until it's all plugged in.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that I don't want to do again is be in the airport on a call. Because
Yes.
I need, you know how I like to take notes and
Yes.
be all there, and I'm not doing that when I'm like walking through the airport. That's not what's
Mhm.
hot for me. So I agree with that. And if we can't be on, we can't be on. If you can't be on,
Oh, yeah. Whoever can. Yeah. Yeah.
but if you can, this will be good. And I know when I book them, I do it where it's recorded. So we'll at least have that. So if you can't be on, we can send you the recording. So yeah, I like that. I like that.
Mhm.
That's a good proposal, at least for the next month or so until we can iron out some of the first legs of travel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because sometimes to me it can be just us booking a ticket because I do all
Right.
kind of researching and looking. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
we'll talk it out. We'll
Same.
talk
I
it out.
started look. Yeah, I started looking too, and I'm like, yeah, it's a lot, and you
Mhm.
know how I'm like.
Yeah, I need a whole session just to
So yeah, it's good times.
yeah.
But I just want to thank you again for coming on. We have to do this again.
Thank you for
We're
having
gonna
me.
exercise that YouTube muscle for you, so you can get into the groove of doing
Yeah.
it. Maybe we can have Francis and Candace join us.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can do us a little powwow.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And thank you for the people who joined us and was commenting in the chat. I love that.
Hey y'all, whoever it is.
Yeah.
I can't see.
So yeah, it was wonderful. This is my first time doing StreamYard, and I'm hooked. I'm in it. I love it. They made it pretty easy. All I had to do was
I
just
think I had a StreamYard too. I signed up because it's something with Stephanie or Rashida we needed to do. I need to see what. Yeah.
yeah, it's one of those things where I know that it was in, because I'm also in Stephanie's
Oh yeah.
monthly YouTube thing group, and yeah, I have resources. I
Oh
just
yeah, we
yeah.
do.
Again, I get in my own way. We talked about that. Had a whole long conversation on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But thank you to the people who joined us. We will have Diamond back on the channel, and we will be over on her channel as soon as she gets it up and running.
Soon
Yeah.
come. Soon come.
Yes. Yes. We have to do it. We have to do it.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you.
thank you. And we will bid you adieu until next time. Thank you for getting in the sweet spot with me, girl.
Yes, the sweet spot was sweet.
Indeed, indeed. All righty. All right. See you next time. Bye-bye.